coming to an end.
It is 5 o'clock. I will see you all tomorrow.
But Gwynn and Chris are just getting started.
Sports talk it is.
Your hosts, Tony Gwynn Jr.
How about Hungary?
Tony needs one for the title.
Hungary?
Hungary?
Did you say Hungary?
He said Hungary.
He's not allowed to win if he calls it Hungary.
And Chris Ello.
And as soon as the white smoke comes out the chimney, they've got a new pope.
What's
and
a
everybody
chimney?
celebrates. It's a chimney. It's my version of a chimney.
It's time to get you up to speed on all things sports.
Yes!
With plenty of nonsense in between.
Oh, look! Here comes our fearless producer!
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
Well, hello, San Diego. That was not what we all expected to happen there in Toronto between the Blue Jays and the Padres. We are going to get into everything. Braden Summer and I are here, though, at Petco Park, Gallagher Square. We are at the 9th annual Padres Summer Blood Drive. And if you want to donate, you can donate until 6 p.m. And they are really looking for some walk-ins. So if you want an appointment, you can go to their website, but appointments are filling up. So you can come on down to Petco Park. You can come towards Gallagher Square. You'll see all of the different things that are set up. But you need to come down and help some people because there are so many reasons why blood needs to be donated. We already met a little girl who's had 50 transfusions throughout her life. She was 4 years old. And we're going to get into something with Braden that I didn't even know until a couple days ago, but Braden himself has been saved by blood transfusion. So we'll get into that. But I just want to give everybody the information real quick. The free parking is available, first come, first served in the Lexus Premier parking lot. To be eligible to donate blood, you must be at least 17 years old, weigh at least 110 pounds, and be in general good health. Donors are asked to arrive hydrated with photo ID to allow about 1 hour to donate blood from registration through recovery. And all donors at the drive will receive a limited edition Padres Summer Blood Drive t-shirt, access to a pair of tickets to the Padres home game on June 25th against the Nationals or July 30th against the Mets. And all of those gifts are while sizes and supplies last. So you need to get down here right now if you want to get one of these shirts in your size. But again, 9th annual Padres Summer Blood Drive down here at Petco Park, Gallagher Square. Free parking at the Lexus Premier lot. You can't beat that. So if you're sitting in traffic or if you're headed home or if you just have some extra time, come on down to Petco Park and do something good. Like I said, Matt Skraby, Braden Summer here with you on Gwynn and Chris. We're filling in for the guys. Tony on a plane from Toronto to Atlanta, and Chris is on vacation. But Braden, let's start with the Padres. We have to get into it. I tried to stall a little bit, but they have lost 6 in a row now. It looked like they were going to be pulling it out there today, but it didn't happen. There are some interesting managerial moves that we're going to be talking about throughout the show. But overall, this one hurts more than I think the others because they did have it. They had this game wrapped up, and the Blue Jays found a way to win.
Yeah, they definitely had multiple opportunities today to win, as opposed to maybe. But even yesterday, they had the game was 2-0 into the 7th, and then things kind of got out of hand.
Really out of hand
for the Padres. But I thought there was a couple of good things in today's game, and I thought there were a couple of bad things in today's game. And I talked about it yesterday. You're not as worried about being 0 for 33 with runners in scoring position as you would be if you were 0 for 5 over the 5 games or 0 for 6 over the 5-game stretch. But then today, you didn't get yourself in a scoring position too many times until you got to extra innings. And even in extra innings and throughout the contest, you still didn't get a hit with runners in scoring. You got 1 hit with runners in scoring position. So obviously needs to be a point of emphasis for the San Diego Padres. 6-game losing streak. And I think people just want to love the panic a little bit. And
that's a great way of putting it. Love the panic.
They want to love to panic with some of the stretches that the Padres will go on. And right now is a tough stretch. Fernando looks lost right now at the plate. He does not look like he is himself. He's mentioned before that, he's been sad a couple of times and he's been open about, some things that might be going on around him. I would be surprised if he gets a day off here in the next couple of games or so. I think that might be the best plan of attack right now, at least at the top of the order. You're still getting good production out of some of the guys in the middle of your order. Luis Ariz continues his hitting streak today, so that's a positive. Got to be able to string some hits together if you're the Padres. But, I think this is going to pass eventually. I don't think this is the end-all, be-all of the Padres. I think a lot of people want to freak out about it and make knee-jerk reactions. And, I said if later in the week Padres are continuing to lose, then we have to have a conversation. But, again, I'm not willing to panic yet. These things happen in baseball, but they're not playing very well. I thought they played a lot better today than they did the last 2 days, though, and that's room for improvement. And if they were able to win today's game with all the circumstances, today would have been a win that could really propel you for the next couple of weeks. And right now, you're still looking for that big breakout. But it's good to see that they actually finally got on the board for the first time in the last couple of games.
No, you're absolutely right. They got right on the board with that 2-run home run from Gavin Sheets. Gavin Sheets today went 3 for 5 RBIs, 2 homers. He had the home run in the second. He had the home run in the top of the ninth to tie the game at 4. So it's good to see that he's hitting. Jackson Merrill got back on the hitting streak, 2 for 4 today. He walked once as well. Manny Machado did not have a great day, and I talked about this yesterday. If the Padres are going to win games, Manny Machado, Jackson Merrill have to be great at the plate together, and they were not. And Fernando today, 3 strikeouts, now hitting .290. As you said, he looks a little lost. And I wouldn't be surprised either if he had a day off soon because, I've been following this whole thing with Fernando being quote-unquote sad. And if he needs some time to deal with something in his life, let him deal with it because it's much better than him coming out to the ballpark and playing with a heavy heart or whatever is happening with him. So we can get into that a little bit later. But today, I think this is a little bit of it's one of those games where the Padres probably thought they had this one won with Robert Suarez coming out in extra innings, ready to shut it down, and then they end up losing this one. I think this one stings, definitely stings because it's the 6th one in a row. But going into Atlanta, you have a tough team that you're going to play, and you're staring down 0 for 9 if you count the Mariners, count the Blue Jays, and if you get swept by the Braves. That's not a good part. That's not good in any stretch of the imagination.
Well, yeah, losing 9 games in a row is not great. They're looking at a potential losing 7 straight if they lose tomorrow, which kind of, in theory would negate the 7-game winning streak to start the season. I mean, but again, we said at the beginning of the year, I tweeted it out, after the 7-0 start that the Padres got, they played 500 ball the rest of the way. They're going to win 85 games. Is that enough to make the playoffs? Probably not in this day and age of the National League and the way the National League is set up. So you'd like to get a little bit, feel a little bit more comfortable in trying to get to the 90-win mark. But, it's not always as good as you think, and it's not always as bad as you think. And I think when you have that neutral perspective, it's a lot easier to digest some of these things. And look, I understand. I mean, you're living and dying with this team. It's the only major league team really in town with San Diego FC, and they're the lifeblood of the sports community here in San Diego. But I mentioned it yesterday on the show. You can't make knee-jerk reactions, and you can't get emotional when things don't go your way. That's when bad decisions are made. And right now, the Padres, and they said this on the broadcast, on both the TV and the radio broadcast, they're hitting the ball hard and they're not getting a lot of luck. And sometimes that starts to wear on you, and that starts to almost snowball and domino effect, in which you start to press a little bit more at the plate because you want to try to snap whatever is happening. And then again, this team, to me, like it lives and dies and it follows Manny's lead, but at the same time, that spark at the top of the order in Fernando, I mean, he's the one that gets it going, and he's obviously dealing with something right now. And until he is able to put that aside when he takes the field, or deal with that matter however he needs to deal with from that human side, he's got to play himself out of it. He's got to take care of it himself. And until he does that, you're gonna have a little bit of a problem there at the top of the order. I'm a big advocate for him batting leadoff when he's fully Fernando. When he's not fully Fernando, then I don't necessarily know If you can keep rolling him out there at leadoff, it might be time to kind of mix things up a little bit. But again, all the arguments we got for not batting him leadoff, just like he's got to have guys in front of him. I mean, he had guys on base multiple times this series and was unable to execute. He just doesn't look right, and I don't know what he needs to do to fix that. He probably might know. The team might know. And until he gets comfortable and feeling like the Fernando that we've seen him be, it's going to be a tough stretch, I think, for the Padres and for him.
I think we have to put a little bit of perspective into this part of the season, because I was talking to our boss, Adam, after the show yesterday, and as a kid who grew up in an NFL world, and as a lot of people did down here, grew up in an NFL world, each game is so important in the NFL. You lose 3 in a row, your season might be over. This 6-game losing streak is only 4% of the season for the Padres. We're talking about less than 5% of
I
the
said
season
that yesterday.
right now. So now if they go 9, 10, 11 straight losses, okay, now we're really talking about something big. But in the end, it's not going to matter.
I had somebody call in about like the last month they were playing 2 games below 500 and said it was a trend. That's still 18% of the season.
A trend, huh?
18% of the season. I mean, and again, like I said before, you play 500 ball after the beginning part of the season, you're going to be at 85 wins, and that's kind of what they've done. And you're going to see that in baseball. Most baseball teams play about at a 500 clip, and then they go on a couple of runs. And if you go on more winning streaks than losing streaks, you'll be in the playoffs. And if you are on more losing streaks than winning streaks, you're not going to be in the playoffs. But still a lot of time left in this season, obviously, and we'll see what they do against Atlanta. But 2 back-to-back kind of clunkers for the Padres is not going to feel good if you're a Padres fan.
It's definitely not going to feel good. Here's what I'm going to close with before we go to break. But last night, the brutal bottom of the 7th and then the brutal bottom of the 8th. They scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th. The Blue Jays scored 7 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Manny had 3 errors in 1 inning. You want to know how rare that is? He, for the first time in 14,519 innings at third base and shortstop in the major leagues, has he committed 3 errors. So it's not good. Terrible timing for it. He even said it. They asked him after the game, why were you still out there in the 9th while other guys were kind of resting? He said, you play like bleep, you stay out there. I mean, Manny is not ever going to have another 3-error inning again. But it is part of a larger problem of these things happening, and then the team starts to unravel, which is what we have been seeing here in this losing streak. So we'll get more into the Padres. Like I said, we are at the 9th annual Padres Summer Blood Drive. You can donate until 6 p.m. We're here at Gallagher Square down at Petco Park. The parking is first come, first serve in the Lexus Premier parking lot. If you want to donate blood, you must be 17 years old, weigh at least 110 pounds, be in general good health, and please arrive hydrated with photo ID to allow about 1 hour to donate blood from registration through recovery. We're going to be talking to Claudine Van Gonka, the Director, Community Relations and Marketing for the San Diego Blood Bank here at 3:40. We're also going to be talking to the Sporting Director of SDFC, Tyler Heaps, at 4:20. I have a couple questions about how the heck you build an expansion team. So we'll talk to him about that. But when we get back, more Padres, and I want to dive into a little bit of why this blood drive is so important to Braden. So stay with us. We'll be back shortly here. Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. All right, back here at Petco Park, Gallagher Square, 97.3 The Fan for the 9th annual Padres Summer Blood Drive. We are going to get into some more information at 3:40. We're going to have Claudine Van Gonka come over, and she's going to tell us everything about today. Here is the shirt, by the way. If you would like to donate blood, you can come down.
Nice.
You will get this shirt for donating blood. Okay, so I did not look at the chat during that first segment. Should not have looked at the chat.
You're lost, dude.
But
it's constantly entertaining for myself.
I look at the chat all the time when I'm in studio, but when I'm here, it's hard to look at the chat. But I want to go with Bill first. Taylor Ward, 3 grand slams, 17 RBI in 10 games. Manny has, 20 in 46 games? Angels want to trade him. Bill, he's hitting under 200. Do you want a guy who's hitting under 200? Like, I don't understand some of these suggestions. I even suggested Taylor Ward, but I also said you have to be okay with him when he doesn't hit. He either hits home runs or he doesn't hit. So if you want that, you're going to be complaining about Taylor Ward when he's not hitting. Bill. Steve, on the other hand, this isn't just a streak. Remove those 3 games in Colorado, and we're the second worst offense in the National League. Pittsburgh would be worse. That's not a bad streak. It's a bad team. Where were these people when the team started off hot? I am so sick and tired of all of these doomers trying to get everybody to be doomed like they are. This is so bad. People, we're in May. There's over 100 games left. This season is not over. We're going back to Steve. You guys refuse to accept the real numbers. The real numbers, we'll accept them when the season is over. This season is not over. It's a losing streak. Every team goes through a losing streak. And I'm actually legitimately angry right now because this is ridiculous. Some of the opinions that people have out there, like you tell me you want Taylor Ward, but you probably have no idea that he hits 198. And when he comes to be a Padre and he hits 198, you're like, why do we get this guy? It's ridiculous. I needed to get that out, Brady.
I could tell.
Thank you.
Since you have no grip of reality, neither do I. Here's some reality for you. It's easy to bitch and moan. I just think it is, and I do that a lot. I mean, I'm not necessarily the most positive guy in the world. On the air, I sound like the most positive guy in the world, but in reality, it's not. I mean, these are frustrating games. I can understand where fans are coming from, but at the same time,
can too.
Here's the deal. Like, until you start, because you're all, some people in there very all-knowing, and I've asked people in the chat to just be like, let's go, man. Like, how are you fixing the problem, right? So
they don't have answers.
So our guy Steve here, says we have no grip of reality in terms of what's going on, and we're just fluff pieces. I'm right in the middle. Things are not as good as they may appear. They're never as bad as they appear. But what are you going to do? I mean, are you going to just completely change the roster? I mean, to change the roster after a 6-game losing streak would be asimine.
I was thinking that same word.
If you want to mix up the batting order, I'm not opposed to that. I mean, you want to cut Jason Hayward? Who are you adding to the roster? Are you going to, part ways with this guy, that guy, this guy? I mean, anybody that's under contract for a long period of time, I got bad news for you guys. They're on the team until that contract is up. They're not getting traded.
Yeah.
As much as people like to complain, when Manny doesn't do well and Xander and guys like that. I mean, Fernando's obviously in a little bit of a slump.
I've never heard about a player going into a slump before. Braden.
Are you going to get rid of him? I mean, Merrill hasn't been very good. He was a lot better today. I thought he was a spark today. Do you get rid of him? I mean, you can complain all you want, but you're just yelling at the clouds.
You're yelling into the void.
It's exactly what it is. I mean, but again, I'm open to a lot of if you want to start throwing out ideas, we could discuss. Like,
please,
if you think, and here's the deal, and I've mentioned this on my show multiple times. Here's all you need to know about what's in the minor leagues for the Padres and what they have currently, like the left field situation. If they believed, the San Diego Padres believed that anybody in AAA El Paso would bring enough offensively and defensively where they could start every day in left field, they would be doing it.
It would happen.
If they thought, and I see it a lot of people say, like Tyler Wade should be getting starts in left field. I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but if the Padres thought that Tyler Wade could start every day in left field, don't you think they'd be doing it right now? Sometimes there's guys that can't play every day. They get exposed having to play every single day. There are such thing as 4A players. There's such thing as guys that are only bench pieces. And, I'm not going to sit here and say Jason Hayward's the solution.
He's not.
But right now, until you get to a point where teams are ready to punt on the season and start trading pieces away, you're not going to be able to go out there and just grab a left fielder. And it comes down to roster construction. Again, you've spent the money that you've spent it on in your core group of players. They have to play better. But just yelling about it after a 6-game losing streak, aside from it getting off your chest, I'm here for it. I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
We got to let you guys talk a little bit.
Yeah.
And get the feels out. But at the same time, you have to understand the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is this is your team. And there's not a lot that they have to work with to make major changes. So you can complain all you want about it, but this is the team that you have. And I don't know what's productive about just screaming out into the void instead of
this team stinks,
letting them figure it out. And that's the thing. And I mentioned that yesterday to end my show. When S hits the fan, you need people that are in charge that are calm, cool, and collected. And AJ Preller and Mike Schilt have done that. And you know what? They're in a little bit of a void right now. They have to play their way out of it. And until they do, you might be seeing a lot of the same results. So just strap in. This is the team that you have.
I hate to be Chris Ello right now, but I'm going to turn back the clock to last year because through 47 games, if I could turn back time, through 47 games last year, this year they're 27-20. Through 47 games last year, they were 23-24. They were also under 500, basically, I'm just quickly scanning, until June,
last year?
Yeah, until June 20th, meaning
they were 50-50 in their first 100 games.
Meaning there is still so much time for this team, and slumps are going to happen. But when people don't give me some sort of when people don't give me a resolution to the problem, then I can't really talk to you about it because all you're doing is saying this team stinks, but you have no idea what to do with it. And I want to make it sure, or I want to make sure everybody knows that I know a 6-game losing streak stinks. I don't want to come to work and talk about a 6-game losing streak. You don't want to come to work and talk about a 6-game losing streak.
I am highly entertained today.
You're highly entertained?
Highly entertained.
Well, is it because I lost my mind finally? I mean,
that was good.
That
was good.
I get these DMs about how I don't know anything about ball and how this team sucks and we're
don't know ball.
And we're just a shill for the team. We're just a shill for the team. This happens. Happens.
People go like, I don't see a problem with saying there are definite issues. I mean, we've said the issues that I've talked about the issues that I think might be issues, but you have to think about how the Padres, how they play their game and think about the understanding of why they're doing some of the things that they're doing. We've talked about a catching position, right? The catching position they view as a defensive first position. They like the way that they manage the pitching staff. And so that's a position that is probably not going to get upgraded. That's another position too, by the way. That's not a high offensive position for most teams in Major League Baseball. You're hoping Ethan Salas is that, but until he comes up, you really don't have a solution to said problem. And not every team's going to be perfect either. I mean, the Padres have flaws, the Dodgers have flaws, the Giants have flaws, Diamondbacks, go through Major League Baseball. Everybody's got some flaws. You got to hope that you don't have too many of those. You look at left field. Okay, yeah, there's a problem in left fild. We all keep saying it.
I suggested Nathan Lucas, and guess what he did in Toronto? He hurt the Padres. So the Padres should have traded for him.
There's not a left field solution because if there was,
they would have be done.
Right, everybody always wants to go pull up Tirso Ornelas. I don't want to watch Tirso Ornelas have another one of the at-bats that he has had in the 15 at-bats that he had with the Padres. They were bad at-bats. He got sent down because he's got to go work on something, and until he's ready, he ain't coming back up. I mean, I don't know how many times we got to say it. I hear Tony say it all the time. I mean, Tony said it on your show a couple of weeks ago. When Tirso is to a level that they think is better than what Jason Hayward brings him, he'll be back up on the Major League roster.
Yes.
But he's not. So that's not a solution.
The Padres are in the business of winning, so they're going to put the best available players that they have on the field. And I want to break down an Abraham comment real quick. I'm spending a lot of time on the chat right now. And Abraham says, I will repeat it again. The fans are able to be upset and show their frustration. Yes, you can absolutely show your frustration. I'm frustrated. Braden's frustrated. But here's the part where I can't get behind. They are spending their money on supporting the team just for them to play like crap. That's the risk you take when you buy tickets to a sporting event. That's the risk you take. And if the team isn't very good, then I'm sorry. You spent money on a team that's not very good. This team is good. We've seen this team play well. And I don't know why so many people are so quick to give up on the team.
It's funny, man. It's just like somebody is like, oh, we could bring up Oscar Gonzalez. Oh, wait, we let him go. If Oscar Gonzalez was a hot commodity,
he wouldn't have even left the Major League club.
They wouldn't have released him to go to Japan to seek an opportunity in Japan. He went to Japan. It's not like they DFA'd him and then the New York Yankees picked him up or anybody else in Major League Baseball. He wanted an opportunity to play in Japan because there were no opportunities for him to play here in the United States in Major League Baseball. You could talk about, people go like, would you rather see Hayward than Tirso? I saw a 15 at-bats at Tirso Ornelas, was not overly impressed. If you want to DFA Hayward, fine. And you bring up Tirso, and then Tirso doesn't work, then who plays left field? Because you're not going to get Hayward back. He's gone unless you want to go sign him again.
Do you want to see Gavin Sheets in left field?
I don't want to see Gavin Sheets in the field ever.
Me
to
too.
Be honest
me
with
too.
You.
After what happened today, he stole one from Jake Cronenworth.
He's a DH. Like, I thought he did a great job today offensively. I think he's been a great upgrade for the Padres. As La Russa said about Sheets to Mike Schilt, you can win with this guy. You absolutely could win with Gavin Sheets. He's not. You got better options defensively than Gavin Sheets in the field. So we could talk through all these problems and talk about the problems that the Padres have. They do have some of those problems, but overall, collectively, they're not playing well together. And just yelling about what the problems are don't solve any of the issues. You have to be thinking from a standpoint of, are there clear solutions to these problems that the Padres are blatantly missing? If they were, I'd be saying them, but
yes.
They're currently are not. They're kind of the same. They're 6 one way, half a dozen the other when it comes to the overall picture of some of the issues for the San Diego Padres. And sometimes some of their strengths don't perform either, like the bullpen. And that's one of their strengths.
I may have gone a little too hard on the fans that are being negative, and I love all the fans that listen to the show. And I love all the fans that tune into the YouTube and give their opinion.
It's a discussion, man.
It is a discussion, but I just, like you just said, when a fan thinks about, man, this left field stinks, think about the organization. Where else are they going to get help? Go look at those stats. Do you think that Tirso is a guy who can come up and play Major League left field right away?
Every single day.
Probably not.
Do you think he could do it enough where if it doesn't work out, you don't have anybody else behind him to do it because would DFA Hayward in order to do so?
And then you got Gavin Sheets in left field.
But then these are emotional decisions, not thinking logically about it.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone. I really do. But we do have to go to break because we have something much more important than me screaming at everybody about the Padres.
That is fun, though.
It is fun.
I'd love to take some phone calls today.
Okay, we'll get back to some phone calls.
Bill's ready to fire back at you, dude.
Good, Bill.
I love it.
Next, when we get done with this next segment, we'll open it up to the phones. We'll talk with everyone. I want solutions, though.
Oh, wait.
I do not want anything where, this guy stinks.
Oh, Aiden?
I want solutions. I want you to come up with something when you call in. So
I'd love to have a discussion about where, let's fix some of the problems. They think we're missing on some problems. I've laid those are the 3 issues the Padres have. It's really only 2. It's the catching situation
and left field.
And it's left field. And then their stars haven't been playing the last couple of weeks, and that's, they're going to do that.
I said the other day, the left fielder that's going to be playing during game 162 is not currently on this roster. They're going to have to go out and get someone.
That's 100%. And everybody agrees with that.
All right.
If you roll into a playoff game when Alex Miniak announces the roster here for the first round of the playoffs, left field is not going to be a current Padre.
Last thing, I got a DM earlier in the week. Someone said, well, this wouldn't be a problem if Jackson Profar was on the team.
Yeah, it would.
And
He would
I
be
said,
playing right
dude,
now. He wouldn't be playing
That's
right
all.
now.
Yeah, he wouldn't be playing right now. All right, we're going to go to break, but when we get back, we're going to talk more about why we are here at the 9th Annual Padres Summer Blood Drive. You can donate until 6 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome and encouraged. So come on down to Petco Park. The Lexus Premier Lot is open, and it is free. First come, first serve. And just make sure that you are eligible to donate blood. You must be 17 years old, weigh at least 110 pounds, be in general good health. Donors are asked to arrive hydrated with photo ID and to allow about 1 hour to donate blood from registration through recovery. And again, if you come down here and donate some blood, you are going to get a couple things. You're going to get this shirt I am showing in the YouTube right now. So get on down here until 6 p.m. Do something good. Do something good, and you can see me scream, and Braden try to ignore me while I'm screaming. So when we get back, Claudine Van Gonka, the Director of Community Relations and Marketing for San Diego Blood Bank, will be back shortly on 97.3 The Fan. There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec'd out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble. And Chris is playing well, Tony's playing well. But our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well. So Chris says I can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
We are league 10 now, and it's getting really windy. It's actually kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie, I know we're in San Diego, but we're 3 under as a group. We just got off the birdie, and I just hit my defense. There's a squirrel, but he wants to attack me. Squirrely! We just got our second birdie of the day thanks to this guy.
Yeah, a 4-footer after.
It was a 5-footer.
After our pro drove it 300 to the front of the green and then chipped it within 5 feet.
Uh-oh.
Gravy, don't feed the animals.
Don't feed the animals. I do feed animals, but Chris made a birdie putt. Leaving the golf course. And we ended up shooting 63 once everything was accounted for, since it was a scramble, and we had an SDSU golf player, Jack Townsend. He was with us, and he did a lot for us. I think we shot 63 because of him, but we all had a good time. There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec'd out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble. And Chris is playing well, Tony's playing well. But our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well. So Chris says I can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
We are leaving 10 now, and it's getting really windy. It's actually kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie, I know we're in San Diego, but we're 3 under as a group. We just got off the birdie, and I just hit my defense. There's a squirrel. He wants to attack me. Squirrely! We just got our second birdie of the day thanks to this guy.
Yeah, a 4-footer after
It was a 5-footer.
after our pro drove it 300 to the front of the green and then chipped it within 5 feet.
Uh-oh.
Gravy, don't feed the animals.
Don't feed the animals. I do feed animals, but Chris made a birdie putt. Leaving the golf course. And we ended up shooting 63 once everything was accounted for, since it was a scramble, and we had an SDSU golf player, Jack Townsend. He was with us, and he did a lot for us. I think we shot 63 because of him. But we all had a good time. There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec'd out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament right now.
All right, back here, Gwynn and Chris. I took a little walk around Gallagher Square, got to see everything that was going on with the San Diego Blood Bank. We are at the 9th annual Padres Summer Blood Drive, and we're being joined by Claudine Van Gonka, the Director, Community Relations and Marketing for the San Diego Blood Bank. Thank you so much for stopping by today and having us.
Thank you guys for having me. I love it.
So I was watching you walk around and greet people, and then a little girl just walked by, and you were telling us a little bit of a story, and she's one of the reasons why we're here.
Yeah, so her name is Severina. We call her Sevi. She's 4 years old, and today she got her 56th blood transfusion. So she has an affliction called thalassemia. Blood cells aren't working correctly. She needs to have blood transfusions every 2 to 3 weeks just to stay alive. And, you know, there's no substitute for blood. So the people that are coming out here today are supporting people like Severina.
Yes. I know, Braden, you had something earlier in your life that you needed a blood transfusion as well.
Yeah, I'd always like talking about that in terms of the survivors and the people that you get to benefit. You know, and I first was kind of exposed to that when I did the Padres pedal a couple of years ago when they did Pedal for the Cause. And, you know, you always want to know what your, you know, charity or your donation, whether it be blood or money, you want to make sure it's going to something. And sometimes when you donate, you're like, I don't really know if that's going to anything or you know, who the people it might impact. And when I did Padres Pedal, there was a little girl that benefited from advanced cancer research that was a new way of treating the cancer that she specifically had, that Padres Pedal or Pedal for the Cause that particularly raised money for and saved her life. And her dad told a story, and she was right there. And you know, after that, it was kind of like it's good to tell my story as well for everybody that's driving around that you know, is on the fence of donating blood. I personally would not be sitting here talking to you guys if it wasn't for the blood bank. And then, of course, my mom, who donated a lot of blood during the time as well. But when I was born, Pomerado Hospital over in Poway, back in 1995, I was born with not enough platelets in my body, and I would not stop bleeding. I was telling the story to Skraby a little bit, you know, before the show started, but you know, I was immediately snatched from my mother's arms and shipped off to Children's Hospital as a NICU baby. And
that's scary.
You know, and my parents were like, well, yeah, he's at Children's now. So, and a couple of weeks at Children's Hospital, rejecting a lot of blood from my family that my body would not accept. And it would accept my mom's blood, but it wasn't enough. And so a lot of blood transfusions over a couple of weeks from the blood bank saved my life. I mean, it came to a point where my parents got some gifts from the hospital that they usually give when you lose a child. And so they didn't think I was going to make it. And if I did, I was going to have either, you know, some sort of brain dysfunction or unable to do, you know, activities or be able to run around, be a kid. I've been perfectly healthy ever since I got the blood transfusions. I played sports my whole life.
You're on the radio now.
I'm on the radio now, right? So there's a lot of things, obviously, that I owe to a bunch of strangers who I've never met that donated blood back in the 1990s that kept me alive for those couple weeks to put me in the position I'm obviously now. So again, I always thank my mom for giving and fighting for me to be alive, but then also what the blood bank did. And I think it's very important to hear from a lot of people that are survivors of the blood bank to help encourage people to come down. So hopefully we got some pretty good numbers. How's today been so far?
Yeah, so we're hoping for over 500 because we have done 500 in the past. Last I heard,
when you say 500, is it 500 people, 500 units?
500 units.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're
how
hoping
many
for.
units does one person provide?
Well, usually a whole blood donation, which is what you think of when you come to a thing like this and you donate, is 1 pint. But there are certain people based on their body composition that can donate 2 pints at one time. Call those double reds. So, it doesn't have to be 500 people doing 500 pints,
Gotcha.
but 500 pints would be the goal. And last I heard, we were in the 400s as far as the number of people registered to come,
Awesome.
and donate. So fingers crossed. And, each pint can save up to 3 lives. So you just compound that. And over the years, we've worked with the Padres since 2017. We do winter blood drives and summer blood drives. We've collected over 3,700 pints of blood for local hospital patients.
Yeah, that's amazing. And not that I'm trying to make this about a TV show, but there's a TV show called The Pit, and they needed blood very bad. And it's supposed to be like a show that's very realistic. And knowing that I was going to be doing this, I paid a lot closer attention to it because, you don't understand that you coming down here for an hour, giving some of your blood could legitimately save someone's life. And I think that's extremely powerful. And I think that anybody who does that is selfless and just wants to give back to the community.
100%. And, it's for different people. It's for trauma victims, certainly. It's for people who need it every couple of weeks, like Severina. Cancer patients often use blood products in their chemotherapy treatment. So, you could swing a cat and probably hit someone that has had a blood transfusion and you don't even think about it. So it's really good for yourself. You as a donor come down. Of course, we're going to, spiff you out with a shirt and some tickets and things like that. But you walk away with this amazing feeling that you've just done something incredible. And it really takes you less than an hour.
Yeah, I was going to ask what's the process like for people that, might be afraid of coming down and doing it for a first time. It seems very simple. You kind of walk everybody through and like one of our salesmen, Tony, that came through, he said it took about an hour. But what's the process like for people who've never done it before?
Yeah, so today at least, you can park for free in the Lexus Premier parking lot across the street from Petco Park. You come in, you fill out some paperwork. We ask you a few questions. That's probably the longest part of the process, is just filling out all the paperwork. And then we get you on one of our buses. We have all of our bloodmobiles down here. I think we have 8 or 9 bloodmobiles down here today. We get you on the bus. You prick your little finger. That's a little preliminary thing that you do. We check your iron levels, make sure that, you're good to donate. Again, a couple more, questions, private, questions that they ask you. And then you get in the bed, and the actual process when you're in there from the time you start till the time you get out of the bed is less than 10 minutes. So the actual donation process is really quick. And then again, you get your goodies. We'll give you some Nutter Butters and some juice.
Ooh.
And again, so you get the shirt, but you also get your choice of a pair of tickets to either the home game against the Nationals in June or the Mets in July. And I think we're also got some car wash vouchers worth like $25 from Soapy Joe's too. So you're really going to walk away with a lot.
Priscilla's very jealous that he's not here. He's a huge Soapy Joe's guy. Is there any sort of blood type that you need more than others?
So we always need all types. I'll preface with that because I wouldn't want anyone to think we don't need their type, because you never know what's going to happen. But currently, we really need the O's. So O positive and O negative are really where we're lacking right now. So O positive is the most popular type of blood. The most people in the United States have it, but that's why it's constantly flying off the shelves in the hospitals. O negative is the universal donor. So anyone can receive that blood. So that's real gold right there. But only 7% of the population has it. So, if you are an O, or maybe you've never donated, you don't know you could be an O, you don't know your blood type, come on down and save a life and find out your blood type too.
Yeah, I actually don't know my blood type. I mean, I should know. I should know my blood type. My mom definitely knows my blood type. So usually,
and your doctor,
and my doctor. Maybe I'll go check out what my blood type is while I'm here.
And you don't need an appointment. So that's one thing I want to stress too. Is we did fill up pretty quickly on our appointments but we know this is a big walk-up drive. People just happen to see it or hear about it and they come on in, and we accommodate that. We already know that's going to happen. So if there's not really a wait, it's really easy. We're here till 6. You can swing by on the way home, and it'll be great.
Yeah, and you could park at the Lexus Premier parking lot, and it's free. It's first come, first serve, but you just drive right up and walk towards the towards Gallagher Square. Where are we in the field?
Off of
right
10th.
field, off of 10th.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is definitely worth the cause, and I hope that people can come down here and really help.
Now, if they can't come down today, I know you guys have a lot of events. Some people in the chat were asking, and we see your buses all over the place at different communities and different companies and everything like that. So, couple things like, what are some of the upcoming dates if somebody can't donate today? And the other thing is, how can your company or maybe your business, help put on their own blood drive?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 10 bloodmobiles that are around San Diego. Almost every day, I think, except New Year's and Christmas. So it's, again, you go to sandiegobloodbank.org and you can search by zip code where any of our buses are. We're out, every single day. We also have 10 donation centers between here and Irvine. Well, 9 of them in San Diego, 1 in Irvine. And so we like to say you're never more than 15 minutes away from one of our centers. So that makes it really easy. Hosting a blood drive would be amazing. We definitely work with schools and civic groups and, shopping centers and businesses and banks and, colleges and high schools. So no matter what kind of organization you have, big or small, we can find a way to do a blood drive. And again, you just go to sandiegobloodbank.org and there's a contact us and get in contact with us. We'd love to work with you.
My mom just texted me my blood type.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I'm AB positive.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, your eyes got wide like that was some sort of valuable something.
It's always, they're all valuable.
Yeah,
man.
No, they are all
Congratulations.
valuable. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for having us.
my gosh.
And is there anything else that you wanted to let people know before?
What Braden was saying, I forgot about, if you can't make it down here today. I mean, again, we have our centers and our blood mobiles and things like that. Throughout the rest of this month, we are giving away, which is just, I guess, a week, we are giving away the Soapy Joe's vouchers. But we also have Comic-Con coming up. Now, that's a little ways away, but we do a 5-day blood drive at Comic-Con, and we give away really cool shirts. We team up with Marvel, and I guess I can't really talk about what it is, but it's going to be a really cool shirt this year.
Nice.
And you get a lot of Comic-Con swag, so that's another thing. But
Is that the next one? The next big event?
That's the big signature blood drive, yeah. But again, sandiegobloodbank.org, you can search by zip code, and you'll find out all the events, or you can, look at all of our centers, see what's easy for you, and we'll just make it a really good experience and save some lives.
I actually did maybe before the pandemic, so more than 5 years ago. I did go into the blood bank area at Comic-Con, and there were many, many, many tables. There's not a lot of wait when you come here for Comic-Con, donating blood and everything.
Yep.
And like you said here, you could just walk on up and sign up, and you will be in and out. It takes an hour. It's very easy, and it's something that is very, very important to a lot of people. So.
It is.
Yes,
You're
it is.
saving lives, and it doesn't cost you a thing, and we'll reward you. We'll
I
give
love
you good
it.
stuff.
Like
Thank you,
with
guys.
the T-shirt,
Right? Cool
and then
shirt.
you get the tickets. You get access to one of the pairs of tickets. Home game on June 25th against the Nationals or July 30th against the Mets.
Yep.
So thank you so much, Claudine,
Thank you,
for
guys.
joining us and
Really
having
appreciate
us.
it. Thank you.
And if there's anything else you need from us, let us know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Claudine Van Gonka, Director of Community Relations and Marketing at San Diego Blood Bank. Unfortunately, we don't go to break in this one, so if you want to just hang out, you can hang out.
Yeah.
We got other stuff to do. So, but thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, Braden. I actually wanted to go a little bit off of your story that you told, because I've known you for 8 years now, and I have never heard that until last week.
I usually tell it when we do the blood drives. We've done the Padres. I've done shows the Padres blood drive now multiple times. I've done the Holiday Bowl blood drive and everything like that. But we might have to get to traffic here. Maybe
Let's get the
continue
traffic
at the top of the hour.
Yeah, let's get the traffic, and then we'll set up 4 o'clock hour.
From the
All right, a couple things before we go to break. This is why I love our listeners, because they come up with funny things. And Bill and I were going back and forth earlier. He said, "See what happens when I donate blood? I'm lightheaded, maybe a little foggy. My bad, Skraby, for firing you up."
He wanted to open the phones, man.
All right, we're going to open the phones.
Come
Give
on,
us a
Bill.
call,
Give us a call.
833-288-0973. We want solutions, though. We do not want complaints only. We want solutions, and we will talk more about the Padres when we get back. One last thing. I was asked in the chat, if you're a medical marijuana patient, can you donate blood? Answer is yes. So if you would like to come down here, Petco Park, Gallagher Square, parking at the Lexus Premier lot. But give us a call, 833. But why did I just forget the phone number?
288-0973.
I feel like Chris Ello all of a sudden.
Some of us are locked in, some of us are not.
We'll be back shortly on 97.3 The Fan.
Ready to go.
Actually, Matt Skraby and Braden Soprenet here on 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $250 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 6/14. Plus, save even more at the Easy Reward program at Staples. Braden and I are at the Padres Summer Blood Drive, the 9th annual. Again, you just heard Claudine talk about it, but it's very important. You can come down. You can park for free at the Lexus Premier parking lot. First come, first serve. You have to be at least 17 years old, weigh at least 110 pounds, be in general good health, and please arrive hydrated with photo ID to allow about 1 hour to donate blood from registration through recovery. You will receive a T-shirt, and you will also receive, as supplies last, access to 2 separate games. You get to pick between a game on June 25th against the Nationals or July 30th against the Mets. So still some time to get down there. If you're stuck on the freeway, I can tell you right now, there is not much traffic down near Petco Park. You can make it down here in no time, and you can donate blood in no time. All right. I usually don't do this, Braden, but I usually let the chat just go. And I know that we have more people listening on the radio, but the chat's how we get our instant feedback on things.
The people on that listen to the radio want nothing to do with the chat.
That is very true, and I don't blame them. But there was one in here, and I cannot find it right now, but it was 97.3 it was something along the lines of 97.3 is too scared to tell the truth. Here's the truth. This is a very good team that's stuck in a slump right now, and they are not very good at the moment. That's the truth. What are we scared to say? I don't understand it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of everybody acting like this team is going to fold right now because they've lost 6 games in a row. Is it good? No, it's not good. But you know what? Today showed me that this team is still fighting, which they should be because it's May. And I don't know why it's bothering me so much today, but it's definitely bothering me a lot today, Braden.
Fans are funny, dude. They're funny.
Fans are funny.
I mean, I'm in the YouTube chat doing my thing. I mean, I brought this whole thing up, and at least, my guy SB in the chat, he likes to show up when things are bad all the time to dance on AJ Preller's grave because he obviously has some sort of
personal vendetta.
He doesn't like the guy, but you know what? At least my guy SB has given some solutions. Now, his solutions are kind of ridiculous sometimes. I don't think, and a lot of people didn't like his solutions, but he's giving solutions, all right? When you talk about You can't talk about moves in hindsight. You have to talk about it in the context of when they were happening, and you have to, that's when you can see if your product works on the field or if it doesn't, right? And I always get, this is a good piece of advice I got from my dad when I started coaching. He's coached high school football for 40 years now, and he said, like, you're going to get parents and all these people that complain about things, and the reality is, the people that complain, the only difference, Matt, between the people complaining and the guys like AJ Preller, you know what the major difference is?
What's the difference?
AJ Preller is getting his stuff tested every single day when the person complaining will never have to put their you-know-what on the line.
Yeah, true.
They could just sit and just critique all the time.
I like that.
So until you start putting your blank on the line and throwing out ideas of what you would do, and then we could go in comparison at the time, you can't sit back and be like, oh, I said this no, you didn't. I got to see the proof that you did. Yeah. So when you look at that situation the Padres had in 20, everybody always complains now, like, oh, it would be nice to have Brent Rooker and all these other guys. At the time that these decisions were made, they weren't that bad of decisions. You can't go back and say, like, well, now that it hasn't worked out, XYZ, we haven't won a World Series in this amount of time. You can't go back and be like, oh, this is terrible. They should have done this. Tell me what you're going to do right now, and in a couple of years, we'll go back and we'll see if you were smart or not, if we want to pull like that. And you know what? You can do a victory lap. There's people in the chat that do that all the time. I told you we should have had this guy. If you said it at that time, I'm all for it. All for it.
Can I ask why people who absolutely hate everything about the Padres are in the Padres chat? I don't understand. Like, When I hate something, Braden, I just don't think about it. I just go the other way. It makes no sense to me. But here's a lineup. Let me give you this lineup, and you tell me if you think this. You're going to know what the answer is. But here's a lineup of a team that is 16-32. Jackson Holliday, Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, Ryan Mountcastle, O'Hearn, Cedric Mullins, Rivera, Kerstad, and Carlson. And then you got Mateo. Would you rather have that lineup, or would you rather have what the Padres have on a daily basis? I think I'm going with what the Padres have on a daily basis.
I take the Padres lineup over most lineups in baseball.
Tatis, Arise, Machado, Merrill, Sheets, Cronenworth, Diaz, Iglesias, Lockridge. And we got Xander Bogaerts and things like that. Listen, to everybody out there that wants Jason Hayward gone, I think we're almost there. I mean, you just got to give it a little bit more time. And I hate saying it about the guy because I don't like criticizing people that are good people, but this is part of the job. He knows it's part of the job. He's not going to survive on this team much longer unless he completely turns it around.
Oh, they're going to Austin Smith early.
What's that?
I'm locked into Toreros right now. They're playing LMU in the West Coast Conference Tournament. Top of the sixth inning. It's tied at 3. El Cajon native, Granite Hills product, who is a semifinalist for the John Olrud Two-Way Player of the Year. Austin Smith has now come in to close this thing out in the 6th. 6, 7, 8, 9. That Brock Ugrich is going to him quick. They pulled him from center field to come pitch.
Like Tyler Wade.
No, he's actually a two-way guy.
Someone actually, wow, that's kind of cool. Someone last night, my brother goes, man, this is bad when the Padres went down like 12-0.
That's not great, dude.
And I go, yeah, I turned it off. And he was like, isn't it your job to watch the game? And I'm like, not when Tyler Wade's pitching. It's not my job to watch the game. Anyway, there are some suggestions in the chat, which I can get behind. Keeping it real says drop Tatis down a bit out of the 3 spot.
I'd give him a day off.
Well, he's not a 3 spot. He's a leadoff guy.
I'd give him 2 days off.
Sure.
I'd give him 2 days off. There's Cal McClurg out here donating blood.
What's up? The great Callan.
He's repping the Toreros today.
Yes, he is. I know Callan. He's a very good guy.
The public address announcer for the San Diego Gulls.
You know, I called 2 Point Loma baseball games in my life, and Callan was on the PA for both of them, and he helped me through. Anyway, the lineup can be changed. I don't know that Mike Schultz is a guy who's going to make tons of changes to the lineup just because they lost 6 games in a row. I don't see it.
You could tweak a little bit, but you can't be making knee-jerk reactions. I mean, the thing is, and it's like, again, I'm not being overly positive. I've been in the middle the entire time, and when they start playing well, there's going to be some times where they're not when they're winning games. There's going to be times where they're not going to have the process isn't going to be great, and I'll be saying it. And you know what they're going to say? You're such a doomer. But you know what? It is what it is. Hey, you know, I fully understand the context of this, and I get why people are upset.
Me too.
San Diego's never won a championship. We have never won a championship. People want it really bad. They're passionate about San Diego winning a championship, and you know there's a lot of legit reasons for, you know, I can understand why people will panic, but I got to just say, it's just, I've been here my whole life, born and raised, 4th generation. I know you guys get tired of hearing that sometimes, but you got to enjoy the ride.
I heard you were born and raised and you're 4th generation.
I'm a 4th generation San Diego.
No, but keep going. Sorry.
But yeah, it's just, you know, there's got to be times where they go through down spills, and this roster is as good as any in Major League Baseball. There's not a lot more rosters that I would take over the Padres roster. I mean, I like the Padres roster more than the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks starting pitching is not up to what they expected them to be. I mean, Corbin Burns has not been that great. You know, they're a very beatable team. They're also very top-heavy. I watched the Dodgers play this week against Arizona. They're the best team money can buy, and they have legitimate holes at the bottom of their order. And they're right now saying, we're trying to do the best with what we have, which is a disgrace that I even have to listen to those words from the organization that spent $450 million on a payroll. But even them, they have holes too. I mean, look at the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs have bludgeoned people to death. Their bullpen is trash.
Yeah.
Their bullpen's awful.
Yeah.
Look at Atlanta. Atlanta started the season off miserable. They still keep going up and down. They're who the Padres are about to play this weekend. They finally worked their way back up to 500. The Phillies have had bullpen nightmares.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk to Mets fans, dude, they want Juan Soto out of town. It's just like, it's crazy to me.
Didn't they put Aaron Nola on the IL?
The Phillies?
Yeah.
He's been awful.
Yeah,
he's
been
been awful. But look at all the teams in baseball. 7, 8, 9 on every team in baseball is not very good. And most teams are not these foolproof teams. You know, the American League's giving the Padres a fight right now, and it's not been that great. But, guys, it's just the sense of reality of the situation. They're not playing that great. I thought they played better today than the last 2 days. Yesterday was flat out unacceptable. Yesterday's performance was unacceptable. Today, they look like they're finally putting it together again for the first time. But again, a couple things didn't go their way. It's a good game. They ended up losing. Your bullpen kind of gives it up in extra innings. You still didn't hit with runners in scoring position, but I'd be more afraid if they weren't getting runners in scoring position than just not hitting with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, let's go to the phones real quick because I did ask for one, and then we got to go to break because we are going to be speaking with Tyler Heaps, the sporting director for SDFC. But let's go to Ryan in Oceanside real quick. What's up, Ryan? How's it going?
Hey, guys. How are you? I'm good.
Pretty good. What do you got to say?
I know you got solutions. I got 2 things. Skraby, I got to give you a hard time because earlier you got mad about Gavin Sheets getting in the way of Cronenworth after he hit 5 RBIs and accounted for all of their runs. So
fair enough. That's fair. That's fair.
But as far as solutions, one thing that I would think would be beneficial would be to move Tatis out of leadoff. I just don't think he likes being there. He gets on base and nobody cleans up behind him. My suggestion might be very controversial, would be to move Merrill to lead off. He gets on base a lot. He hits a lot of singles. He hits doubles. He puts himself in scoring position. And if he can have one of those guys come up behind him and get him home, I think it puts runs on the board right away for the Padres, which is what I think that they need. I think they just need to sort of score here and there and keep that going and not sort of score in bursts. And that's my take.
Well, thank you, Ryan, for the phone call, and very fair call out of me for getting mad at Gavin Sheets after he basically had all of the offense for the Padres.
He still can't field.
He still can't field, so he's a DH. We all know
he's
that.
Not the reason for the loss, but at the same time, I mean, I don't want to see him play in the field ever.
I don't either. But today he was very good at the plate. He kept the Padres in the game. I don't mind moving Jackson Merrill to first.
I want Merrill second.
Yeah,
I want Fernando 1. I want Merrill second. I want to rise either 3 or 4. AKA Manny 3 or 4.
Okay, we're going to get back into this lineup discussion because we do have to go to break. We are going to be joined by Tyler Heaps, the sporting director of SDFC, the general manager. But stay on the phones if you have solutions. That was a great phone call from Ryan. I don't mind if people disagree with us. I just want solutions. So give us a call, 833-288-0973. When we get back, we are going to be talking about some soccer. Tyler Heaps, the sporting director for SDFC on 97.3 The Fan. Termite damage, all with a full structural warranty. Our orange oil treatment is safe for people, pets, and the planet. No tent, no move out. Protect your home naturally. Schedule a free inspection at eliminatetermite.com. Matt Skraby, Braden Suprenant, filling in for Gwynn and Chris today down here at the Padres Summer Blood Drive. We are open till 6. You can come on down and park in the Lexus Premier lot for free if you can find a spot, and you have a chance to get some tickets to some Padres games. You also get a shirt. So come on down. A couple more hours left for you to donate blood. Very, very important to do so. All right, let's get to our guest, because I am very excited to talk to Tyler Heaps, who is the sporting director of SDFC. Thank you so much for joining our show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. No problem. Now, as someone who's never been a GM, my first question when I thought about having you on the show was, like, where do you start when you have an expansion team and you are tasked with building an entire roster from nothing? So what was like kind of your thought process coming into the year?
I think I started with a whiteboard and an eraser, and I think I used the eraser quite a bit. But it actually seemed very daunting, and it's crazy because I was talking to someone the other day, and my job has changed drastically in the last 6 months because we went from having no players or 6 players for a lot of months last year to having a full roster and a full list of staff as well. And so now my role looks quite a bit different than it did then, but the starting piece was just trying to be really clear about what we wanted to do, really be clear on our strategy about how we wanted to look on the field, and then trying to find staff that fit that, and then also trying to find the player pool. And I think so far we've done an all right job and got some of it right.
You guys jumped off to a hot start, then went through a little bit of a cold spell, and then have now rebounded a little bit as well. As you start to watch your product on the field play out the beginning part of the season, what are your biggest takeaways of what you've noticed out of your team, what you're most proud of?
Yeah, I think that what I'm most proud of is that losing streak. I'm proud that the culture didn't waver during that losing streak. We lost 3 games in a row, and luck was not in our favor. We conceded 3 penalties in 3 straight games. We got a red card away from home early in the match, and so you really could have seen, or we really tested what our culture was like then, and that was also something that we created from scratch. So what I'm most proud of is that it didn't seem, everybody still came in, everybody was still working to the same common goal, and we were able to turn that around. And now obviously we're unbeaten in 4 straight. We won 3 of those games, and so it was really important for us to just get back to what we keep preaching and what we're good at, and making sure that we do that consistently, and we'll be just fine in this league if we continue to do that.
We're talking to Tyler Heaps, sporting director for SDFC here on Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. And Tyler, you were saying the culture is something that you guys built, something that you're very proud of. And I see the culture as well. I just want to know, like, do you have to interview certain guys? Are there guys that come in, you meet with them, and you're like, yeah, they're not part of our culture? Or do guys come on in and you tell them the culture and they kind of make themselves available to to fit in?
Yeah, I think, look, they've been building this culture with us. They're in the locker room every single day, and so we were very selective in terms of who we brought in. There were definitely footballers that are very successful in their careers that we didn't bring in because they didn't probably fit with what we were trying to build. We made sure to bring a balance of players, people who knew the MLS, people who have played at the highest levels in Europe, because you need all of those people in the locker room to really set the standards and then try to grow them together. And so I think we got that balance right, just in terms of people that know what this league is all about, but also people that have high aspirations of doing something special. And I think this group has a chance to do it.
Mikey Varis, the head coach of the squad for you, Tyler, has done a pretty good job so far. I love his aggressive approach. When you guys met a couple of times before the season, you guys collectively wanted to play an aggressive style of soccer. And how has your relationship been with Mikey throughout this process in the job that he has done?
Yeah, he's been fantastic. And I think it was apparent from our first conversation that we were very aligned in terms of how we saw football and how we held ourselves. And I think he's only lived up to those expectations and then some as we work through this season. And so we were fortunate. We had time to hire a head coach. That's not always the case in professional sports. Sometimes you're really rushed into making a decision. So we talked to a lot of different candidates, and Mikey was somebody that every conversation I got off the phone with him, I was excited to talk to him again, just because of, again, how he carried himself, how we saw him connect to this community, how we saw football together. And I think we've done a good job building the staff around him, and we continue to push ourselves. But a lot of credit has to go to him. He's put that team on the field week in, week out with a chance to win, and hopefully we can continue to do that this year.
We're talking to Tyler Heaps here, a sporting director for SDFC. And I've been looking through your roster the last couple of days, and a lot of these guys obviously are not from San Diego. Anders Dreyer is from Denmark. How, as an organization, do you bring these guys together and make them feel like they are at home while they're so far away from their actual home?
And we're really fortunate we have this wonderful city to bring them to, right? I think these guys, whenever they arrived, it was a credit to our staff, our player care, and our team admin getting these guys settled as quickly as possible. But it's an unbelievable city to move to, and we're fortunate with that. That obviously helps in the recruitment process. So someone like Anders, who Obviously, he came from Anderlecht in Belgium, and he probably didn't see the sun many days in a row, and now he's been here, and I don't think he's seen clouds. So it's something that him and his family are very settled, and that helps on the field because if you've got a happy life outside of your sport, you obviously come and you want to give more to the team, and he's somebody that's been fantastic for us, but also so have some of these other guys. We were able to bring some people home. Luca De La Torre, we were able to bring back home, and he's hit the ground running and been a really important piece for us. So we're bringing people from all ways of life, but again, it goes back to the culture and making sure that we're all kind of on the common road and going in the right direction.
Big match coming up on Saturday. Play LA Galaxy for the second time this season. They've obviously have not been off to the greatest of starts after winning the whole thing last year. What are the challenges in playing a team for a second time, especially a team that might not be off to the start that they would like to get off to?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, they're still the champions. They, if you look at the previous champion, it's still them and it's still their name. And they've been a team that's went through a lot this year. They've had a lot of injuries, and we're actually facing them at a time when they've got everybody back. So it should definitely be a really competitive game. They still have tremendous amounts of talent. They still have game changers on the team, and so we still need to be good. But I'm really looking forward to getting them because it's another test. It's another time that we get to go out there in front of our fans and hopefully entertain them and make up for not scoring any goals on Saturday.
We're talking to Tyler Heaps, sporting director of SDFC, and thank you so much for your time today, Tyler. I want to ask, my last question is going to be about Manny Machado, because obviously he's a big part of your organization, and he's got the Padres and some of his Padres players behind the organization as well. What is it like to have Manny Machado as a part of the organization?
I mean, these guys are all in. That was apparent from our first couple of games. I think Manny brought half the squad to our home opener, and that was a really special moment because I think he lives and breathes this city, and obviously us coming into it, we need to embrace this city as well. And you see it with Petco packed every single night, and we're obviously trying to do that at Snapdragon as well. But I think it's really important because there's not a whole lot of professional sports here, and so the more that we can create that bond together and get the fans behind us, it's really important and a really special thing. And Manny's been our number one fan since the opening kick, and it's great to have his support, and it's great to have somebody that's had such a successful career be on our side and really get the guys up to it, but also for our guys to go watch them. They do it day in and day out, and so the more that we can kind of create that camaraderie as a group, it's special for the city.
Have you guys gone down yet and taken batting practice or anything like that? I would love to see if that has happened.
I'm not sure I want to see some of these guys on our team swing a bat.
Okay. I can understand that because
it'd be cool to watch
not easy.
Jackson Merrill out there on the pitch a little bit. He's a former high school soccer star.
I did not know that. He's a former maybe you should start scouting him,
yeah,
Tyler.
Maybe. Take a look.
Yeah, we got to get some of these guys. These guys, I think, got a ball, or they caught a ball during one of our games, and I saw them on the field after trying to kick it around. So I think if we both just stick to our main sports, I think we should be all right.
All right. That's a fair answer. Thank you so much, Tyler, for joining us here on 97.3 The Fan. Appreciate your time, and let's go SDFC.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tyler.
That was Tyler Heaps, sporting director, SDFC, GM for
Xander,
people who are
big soccer guy.
Yes,
too.
he is. He is a big
Xander,
soccer guy.
Merrill. You know, if you had a baseball teams had to play soccer. Padres had a pretty solid soccer squad.
Fernando's very good at
Fernando,
soccer.
very athletic.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with those guys, but they also are professional athletes.
Really good baseball.
I've been asking Tony, and it's never going to happen, but I've been asking Tony to come down on the field and try to hit some batting practice for like give me like 10 swings. See what happens.
The guys at the Sportsplex know Chris and I play there, and they always ask every week, "Can you bring Tony out one time?" I'm like,
Tony's never
coming out here.
Tony has told me, Chris, Braden,
Archie Franco got booed out of there one time.
He's
never going to get out. He booted like 2 or 3 balls, and you know how the sports play, they have like the upper deck. He was getting jeered.
That's messed up.
And he got jeered out of there. I don't know if he's ever been back. This is a long time ago.
Hey, you know what? He made his money playing baseball professionally, so I think he's okay.
I had Jermaine Dye come out there a couple times.
And what happened with him? Just crushing
He
things?
put the ball 30 cars deep in the parking lot at the Sportsplex.
I can only imagine.
The first time Jermaine came up to bat, I was at third, and he comes up, and I'm just like, I'm standing at third base, immediately going, "What? I should have stayed at second, dude." Because Jermaine is massive, and he's standing
pulling the ball right at
But
you.
like, you're used to just regular Joes out there playing softball. and you got a former World Series MVP in the right-handed batter's box, and you're only 70 feet away
that's scary.
compared to the 90 feet away. And I'm like, and they're lobbing it up to him, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get killed.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
His first swing, dude, on the field when you're walking into the Sportsplex to the left, I think it's called Sungenia now. He hits it into the Sportsplex parking lot. I'm telling you, like 20 cars deep into the parking lot.
That's
his
a big
first swing.
parking lot. It's deep too. It goes all the way back. That is insane. That is insane. It reminds me of a guy who played for the Diamondbacks, Eric Burns, I think.
Yeah.
When he was in the Bay Area, he would just show up and like join teams that needed people, and no one really knew who he was, and then he would just crush balls into the parking lot.
Heath Bell was out there for a while. Him and Brett Tomko played on the same team at the Poway Sportsplex.
See, that's not fair.
And Heath Bell was playing outfield.
Okay.
And I was at third base, and one of the guys on our team hit one of the track. And so I'm like, I'll tag up. I had to do full-on sprint, and I barely beat the throw from the warning track.
Because his throw,
just a laser
to
his
the
arm
plate. Strength is just incredible, I bet.
Awesome.
All right, that's it. Thank you, Tyler Heaps, once again for joining the show. If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com. Matt Skraby, Braden Suprenant filling in for Gwynn and Chris down here at the 9th annual Padres Summer Blood Drive. You can donate until 6 p.m. They really encourage walk-ins to come down here and donate. And when you are down here, you will see our little booth. So if you hear us right now telling you to donate, come on over and say hi to us as well. We'll be here till 6. Parking, Lexus Premier parking lot. First come, first serve, but it is free. So come on down and do something good for the community. Now, when we get back, we're going to get back to our Padres talk. We're going to get back to our phone calls, 833-288-0973. What are the solutions for the Padres right now? I don't want any complaints without a solution. So give us a call, 833-288-0973. Braden, Skraby, back shortly on 97.3 The Fan. Back here, we're not in the Odyssey Palace. I almost said Odyssey Palace. We're actually at Gallagher Square at Petco Park for the 9th annual Padres Summer Blood Drive. You can donate until 6 p.m. Please come on down. Free parking at the Lexus Premier Lot.
That reminded me of the first time you when you used to endorse EcoWater.
Oh, gosh.
Where Skraby said, "Hi, Skraby."
No,
Wait, no, I'm
no.
Skraby.
Yes.
I was in the press box for that. I was dying.
There's
laughing.
actually a
Dying.
drop on the board of me saying, "What's up, Skraby?" And yeah, I never let that. That never,
one's funny.
Yeah.
The other funny one was the rain one. Did you get rid of that? Because I was looking for it for Frank.
No. Wow, it's raining really hard right now. It's being cool here on the Intercom Empire.
We were talking about the other day. Frank, I was like, it's probably on the board somewhere. And Frank's like, well, Skraby needs to draw me a map on how to get to all of the drops.
I did hear about this.
And I said, anytime during our show, if there's any scheduled rain and it starts to rain, I just want Frank to play that. So I got to find it. You got to find it for me. I know it still exists.
I know it's like on the bottom right or something of my page, but I did hear Frank. I did hear Frank talking trash about my organizational skills, and that's fine. My organizational skills are not the greatest. I'm the first to admit that.
As long as it's organized for you, does it really matter?
Well,
if you know where the things are, does it really matter?
Yes, because I can't find them. Oh, well,
then you're not organized. Then.
I'm not organized.
Wow, it's raining really hard. This is being cool here on the Intercom Empire. So if you're sitting out there,
what? That was awesome.
If we're also talking about favorite things, there's that Cox Mobile commercial in the break, and every time it comes on, I know that if I'm in the studio with Sam Levitt, we'll sing it together. From San Diego to Boston. Everybody knows that one.
Oh,
we don't talk about the other one, though. We don't talk about the other one.
Tijuana Bus Terminal.
Here is one.
What are you doing here?
Here is one random thing that I think is very cool about radio, very cool about technology, but I'm in this chat group with these kids I went to elementary school with that are in the Bay Area.
I sent you a song.
Stop. I can't do it, Braden. But my friend said I was scorekeeping for my son's baseball game yesterday with a couple other dads who are Padres fans. I asked if they ever listen to the radio to listen to games or Padre talk. They said yes, and they listen to you sometimes. I was excited to say I know a celebrity.
Wow.
I'm not a celebrity.
Round of
but
applause.
then they called you a traitor for having grown up in the Bay and are
traitor.
Now a Padres fan, even though the other dad was also from SF. So our voices reach far and wide, Braden. Far and wide.
Yeah, I got a friend that watches. He's in Spain for. His family's got he's got dual citizenship in Spain. He's been watching the shows in Spain, Jorge. And then
awesome.
My buddy Nick was like, "Oh, I'll be your first one watching in Iraq when he is deployed to Iraq in the next couple of weeks or so." So we're worldwide here.
Well, good luck to him going to Iraq, and good luck to everybody who
serving our country.
Can't thank you enough, and that is genuine from the bottom of my heart. Okay. Padres diehard. Skraby doesn't know his blood type or the lines to his own radio show. Come on, son. You're an adult.
Come on, son.
I should know my blood type. I will give you that. I sometimes forget the phone number. I will be 40 on Sunday.
You know your own blood type.
I should.
Well, you know it now. Your mom sent it to you.
I know. My mom always sends me stuff. She's always listening. And then when I say something about her that's like disparaging, then she'll be like, "Why did you say that on the radio?" Anyway, we do have a phone call, Braden. And
is that your impersonation of your mom?
I'm sorry, Mom, if you're listening, but why are you saying those things to me on the radio? That's me talking about my mom. All right, we do have a phone call though, and it is Eric in San Diego. If you would like to talk with us here, Braden Soprano, Matt Skraby, filling in for Gwynn and Chris down at Petco Park, you can give us a call 833-288-0973. Eric, how are we doing? What's going on? What's on your mind?
Good, gentlemen. How are you guys doing this afternoon?
Very well, very well. What's up?
Well, look, so cards out on the table. I am a Braves fan, okay? But San Diego, almost 6 years now, they're kind of like my second team, all right? I think I was listening to Ben and Woods this morning. Who they have on? Eno this morning, I think.
Yeah.
I think you're seeing kind of a lot of like, the Braves couldn't get wins early in the season. They kind of just kept going. the direction they knew they wanted to go.
Yeah.
They never really kind of gave up on it, and I think the Padres kind of have to do the same thing. You're going to get Darvish back. That rotation is going to get a little bit stronger, but there's a lot of similarities to draw with those two teams, I think, because the back-end rotation isn't strong. Todd is the only one hitting for power. Maybe you shift the lineup a little bit. Put a guy like Merrill at top. Let Toddy hit second. Maybe move the lineup a little bit. But I think you kind of just have to keep chugging through a little bit. You're going to hit some slides, but at least they're going over the last 6 while they're in top of the NL, rather than going 0 for 7 to start the season. And I really think that's what you got to do. You have a plan, work through it, allow the bunch to hit, and eventually someone will spark something, and the rest of the lineup will find it.
Thank you very much for that phone call, Eric. I appreciate that because, there's no one else fan-wise that had it worse than Braves fans earlier in the year. That was bad. They lost like 7 or 8 games in a row, and they're hovering around the 500 mark. That's proof to me. He said, you just keep on chugging. That's part of the baseball season. Maybe make some changes in the lineup, but everything will end up being what you think it's going to be. It's a game of numbers, mean, averages, all of that stuff. And they're going to end up being the team that we know they are.
Well, I mean, they are the team that we know they are. They are currently not playing very well. But that's just baseball in general. I mean, it's a game of failure, and you're going to fail a lot. And sometimes you're going to fail on longer streaks than others, and all the best teams in baseball fail at some point in time during the season. And, you can look back to 1998 when the Padres made the World Series in an awful September. I mean, they collapsed in September, still were in a good spot in making the playoffs, and then got hot again in October and made it to the World Series. So, again, baseball is different, man. It's built on failure. It's something that you don't want to let your emotions get the best of you in, like football, where you can benefit from some of those things. And that's just where the Padres are at right now. You got to continue to roll it out there and hope that you can play out of it. That's what you get in baseball. You need 300 at bats before you can determine how good somebody is at the major league level, and you need larger sample sizes, and you're going to go through some ups and downs, and just it's even heightened when it's in the present at this point in time.
I will say this about people that are unhappy with the team, because I know that there are a lot of people that have been fans of the Padres for 50 years. Since the day the team started, they have been fans of this team. But tell me, Braden, as a guy who's lived here his entire life and been a fan of this team his entire life, have you ever seen a team better than this one? I mean, maybe the 98 team?
The 98 team was pretty good. I was 3, though, so, that's mostly on highlights. In terms of...
that makes me feel so old.
In my lifetime, yeah. I thought second half of last year might have been one of the best teams that I've seen in Padres uniforms. This is like one of the best starts that I can remember. Statistically, it has been. They're just so much better than they were even 5 years ago. If you look back at the 2019 team, go through some of the 2019
That's what I'm gonna do right now.
lineup. I just saw they had I don't know what Instagram account had it, but there's an Instagram account that had like a throwback to the time that in 2019 the Padres came back from like 11-5 to the Rockies and beat them 16-12 or something like that in extra innings. But that team, didn't have. The team you got now is way more athletic and way more star-studded than the 2019 team. The teams that were assembled when I was in high school were awful, the exception of the surprise 2010 team that played out of their minds that Tony Gwynn Jr. was a part of. But I think of like 2011 through 2019, some dark years of Padre baseball where you're just hoping to get any type of production out of anyone. You're getting excited for guys like Aaron Cunningham coming up and hitting bombs as this guy's our future, and Jed Jerko, and you go
Christian
through the list.
Villanueva.
Christian Villanueva hit 3 home runs in Western Supply Western Metal Supply Company building. We thought he was the third baseman of the future, and then he got traded. He ended up getting
he got traded to Japan.
Yeah,
which
he
is
ended
so
up getting the
messed up.
Oscar Gonzalez treatment. He ends up going to Japan. I mean, go back and think about. I just find it. Go back and think about some of the players that Padres fans got super excited for from 2011 through 2019, and tell me that those players are better than the ones you currently have. The answer is no. And they're in so much better of a spot than they were a couple of years ago. And, I know you want to strive to be better and be the best that you can. You're still right in the thick of things in the National League West. And it's a different sport. Baseball's a different sport. And you just have to realize that there's going to be times that they're not going to play well and they're not going to have results. But, as long as their process is good. And the thing was, I thought yesterday the process was not good for the Padres.
No.
Defensively, offensively, they looked like S yesterday. Today, they looked a little bit better. And even on Tuesday, I thought they were hitting the ball hard. And sometimes you hit the ball hard right at people. So you can't really complain about that. Again, process over results. If they were kicking the ball around looking like the Keystone Cops, sure, I think you can complain as much as you want. But until they start doing that, you know what? They're good enough to play out of this, and it could be a lot worse of a situation than they currently have.
Okay, so for all the people that are saying that A.J. Preller is the reason this team stinks, here's the 2019 opening day lineup for the Padres. You got Hedgehog, that's what I call him, Austin Hedges at catcher, Eric Hosmer at first base, Ian Kinsler at second base, Manny Machado third, shortstop Fernando, left field Will Myers, center field Manny Margot, right field Franmil Reyes, and the starting pitcher Eric Lauer. So if that's the type of roster that you all want, I'm sure that the Padres can go do that, but that's not a good roster. It's not a good enough roster for the playoffs.
Well, that's an A.J. Preller assembled roster. Look at the 2013 Padres.
Let's go 2013.
Tell me how great
Padres.
the 2013. I just saw their opening day thing over here the other day when I was waiting to get in the club. It's the opening day lineup right next to.
Oh yeah,
the
they have all
clubhouse.
those. Yes, they do.
If the 2013 Padres played the current Colorado Rockies, they might go 81 and 81.
All right, here it is.
They might split with
Here
that
it
team.
is. Nick Hundley catching, Alonso playing first, Jed Jerko playing second. I have no idea who's playing third.
Cody Ransom.
No idea.
Everett Cabrera at shortstop.
Carlos
Quinton in left field.
Cameron Maben center field. Krista Norfia right field, and Edison Volquez pitching. This team has gotten better. I don't understand how anybody can look at the roster that the Padres have today and say, A.J. Preller's the guy who did this to this team. He's got to go, man. He's got to go. Like, what are you watching, people?
It's just perspective, right? Like, you have to have the perspective. And, I think it's, there's reason to sit there and go, we want to be better. We want to be in the World Series. And the team that they've had the last couple of years that are good enough for the playoffs weren't good enough for the World Series. And you want to improve from those particular positions. You don't always want to compare yourself to what might have been the lowest point in your franchise history. And there was a lot of lower points probably than just the 2013 team. But at the same time, you have to understand, where you're at in terms of Major League Baseball right now.
All right, let's take a quick timeout for some traffic. Ishmael on Facebook says, we have high expectations, so we have a right to be pissed off on the current level of play. I don't disagree with that. Right now, to an extent. Right now, they are not playing good baseball. They are not winning. They've lost 6 in a row. I am frustrated as much as everybody else is frustrated, but I'm not willing to just blow up this team because they've lost 6 in a row in May. That's the difference. Now, if they're losing in June, July, okay, let's revisit that. But I doubt that they would still be losing in June and July. I understand, Ishmael. Like, you have high expectations. A lot of people do. A lot of teams do, and that's fine.
How much did the expectations change once the Padres won the first 7 games? I would say probably
that's
a lot.
Good question.
If you look at, if I were to tell you in January, after losing Jerickson Profar, not knowing that he was going to get suspended for PEDs, not bringing back Peralta or Solano, not bringing back Kyle Higashioka, your only move being Nick Pivetta, which before the season started, it's a 4-something ERA. It's just kind of a potential move for you. And I told you that you'd be 27-21 and 3 games out of first place in the Dodgers. You'd be stoked.
Sign me
You
up.
would be stoked.
All right. Here's Padres diehard last comment before we go to break. If we can get 2 in Atlanta and handle business at home versus Miami and Pittsburgh, we should be fine. That is a true comment. They can handle business against those 2 teams. We're at the 9th annual Padres Summer Blood Drive. You can come down here and donate until 6 p.m. Just make sure you come down and park at the Lexus Premier parking lot. Free parking, first come, first served. You have to be at least 17. Be hydrated, bring a photo ID, and you will be able to donate blood. Also set aside an hour. We have more Padres talk on the other side. We're also going to get to some of these weird football rules at some point that have been changed, the NFL and college football. So stick with us here. We'll be back on 97.3 The Fan. tell you it has been feisty today. The Padres have lost 6 in a row. They lost today's game in extra innings. Gavin Sheets hits 2 home runs, has 5 RBIs. He is going to be on Gwynn and Chris, by the way, tomorrow at some point in the show. But it just seems like many people, I can't say that. Not many people. Certain people are very upset with this team right now, and Braden and I don't really understand why they're upset. So we haven't got our guy Frank on yet. I got to get some opinion from Frank, because he might be the voice of reason. He might not be the voice of reason. But Frank, throughout all of this show today, what have you thought about how we've handled it, how the fans have handled it? What do you think about this Padres team right now?
Honestly, I think you guys have handled it absolutely the way you should. This is something that's going to happen throughout the course of the season. No team has ever gone a season without a streak like this. These are things that happen in the sport of baseball. As far as the fans, it sits here and makes me laugh, honestly, to see some of these comments and how crazy some of you guys are getting over just a string of losses in May. Relax. These are going to happen. You're going to lose games that you're supposed to win. You're also going to win games you're supposed to lose. That's just the nature of the beast in this game. And again, it's the middle of May. It's not the middle of September. You have time to make this up. It's unbelievable. Some of the knee-jerk reactionary comments that I've seen over the course of these last couple days.
Is it safe to say, I'm asking both of you, is it safe to say that unhappy baseball fans are always going to be unhappy baseball fans? Is there, say the Padres win the World Series. Are all these people in the chat going to find a problem with it? All these people that are criticizing the team right now.
No.
I tend to believe that, yes, there are going to be people that will be like, well, they won the World Series, but, they gave away Game 2. They need to figure that one out. I just don't understand it. We got people on the chat saying that the Rays GM is better than A.J. Preller, which I do not agree with whatsoever. I've let this happen, Braden.
The Rays thing, I mean, here's the deal. They all come with pros and cons. If there was a perfect way to run a ball club, there would be a team that wins every single year, and there's not. When you talk about the Tampa Bay Rays, the pros of the Tampa Bay Rays is they will always be, with the way they do things, relatively competitive. But they will never win, because they will never have the horses to win in October. They'll get there, they'll be close, but they'll never win. And if you look at what the Rays have done, they've always been competitive, but they have never won. Would you rather be a team that's competitive all the time that never wins, or the team that's up and down sometimes, but you probably have a better chance of winning a World Series? I'm going to take that even further. And again, this is the level of this is what my opinion is on what I would like my team to be. Maybe you're cool with that. I don't like having a brand new roster every 2 to 3 years. I don't think that's great in growing a fan base. I don't think that's great for business. I think it sucks for kids that grow up watching Padres baseball.
It's not great for team chemistry.
I mean, it's a constant change. I mean, think about it from this perspective. We have a lot of fans that fall in love with ball players that always want to keep this guy, keep that guy, keep this guy. Like, how do we let this guy leave? Well, if you're a fan of the Rays, the guys leave all the time. And you usually grow up with them. And then once they get to a point where they're going to make a big contract, they ship them off.
Yeah.
And they get replaced. I mean, would you like it if in 2 years we shipped off Jackson Merrill for prospects? Would anybody really like that?
And that's what the Rays do.
I don't think anybody would like that.
And the Rays restock.
Right. Would you have liked to do that? Like next year, trade Tatis for prospects? No, absolutely not. And so you don't want to be the Rays. The Rays have to do what they do with the budget they have to go out there, and that's the way that they're competitive. I don't think that's a great way to run a team. They happen to do that. The other thing is you can't compare yourself to Los Angeles, because what they can do is they have, and I'm tired of giving this analogy because people don't listen when I say it. They just don't listen. But with the Los Angeles Dodgers, they have the resources to do everything. And people always go like, well, the Padres are spending money. It's not about the major league payroll. It's about the organization in itself. The major league payroll is one thing. It's all of the other resources that they have money-wise as well. It's being able to train and get the minor league system going. That costs money. That's not just like we got the smartest guys. Well, in order to get the smartest guys, you have to spend money on some of these guys that are training and scouting for the Dodgers and the ones that develop the organizations. And they have the resources to make sure they stay in nice hotels and get properly fed. And then I always go back, and if you want to go find it, I recommend reading it. Kyle Glazier in 2020 wrote an article about why the Dodgers have success. And it's more than just spending money on major league talent. The Dodgers can do a lot of different things because they have the resources to do that and spend on their major league roster. And by the way, if it doesn't work, albeit, let's say, a Xander Bogaerts signing that to a lot of fans for the Padres said didn't work, the Dodgers can just replace him with another guy immediately and eat the money. They can do that. They have the resources to do that. So they can operate with analytics like the Rays and spend money. That's something the Padres can't do. If the Dodgers, let's say everybody's got $500 million to work with, Padres are probably putting 75% to almost 90% of that $500 million just in their major league payroll. And then the rest is left for their minor league system in drafting, developing, making sure your guys are taking care of the minor leagues, international signings to an extent because those are capped, draft picks, everything like that.
And I saw somebody in the chat mention, it's called passion. There's a difference between being passionate as a fan and being a reactionary. What you're doing right now, where you're saying, we got to get rid of AJ Preller, we got to get rid of Mike Schiltz, we got to dump all these guys, we got to trade everyone away. That's being a reactionary. That's not thinking. It doesn't take thought to be a reactionary. To be passionate is to understand, it's okay to be upset when they lose, but it's also about knowing that these things are going to happen. We know the team is good. We know the team is solid. This team was just in the divisional series last year. It was in the championship series 3 years ago. They are going to get it figured out. There's too much talent on this team for them to not figure it out. And that's what, as a passionate fan, you have to you realize that. As a reactionary, where you're taking it day by day, you don't.
I would
to go back to what I was explaining with the Padres allocate probably most of their resources into their major league budget to get the stars and bring people here. By the way, that's successful. You want to talk about success? Winning a World Series is obviously the ultimate level of success on the field. They're selling out baseball games here every single night. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day, and they're getting people to go to games. But they allocate a lot of the resources to the major league roster. The Rays probably allocate 90% of their resources to the minor league system. The Dodgers are different. The Dodgers have $1 billion in this hypothetical situation. They can spend as much as the Rays on drafting and developing, and they can spend as much as the Padres, if not more, on their major league roster. They can do both. So you can't compare an organization like Los Angeles and an organization like San Diego. It's two drastically different organizations with different levels of resources, and it's more the simple mind that say, well, the payrolls are close to the major league level. Thinking about it, when instead of looking at the tree, look at the forest, there's more than just the major league payroll when it comes to your spending. And that's the difference that makes up for the Dodgers compared to everybody else. There's other teams that could do it. Like the Mets have unlimited resources, but they're doing the Padres method of just spending on a major league roster, and they haven't been able to allocate and do things the same level the Dodgers have. If you want to compare organizations like the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, some of the ones that have a lot of money with a lot of rich owners. Aside from that, you're comparing apples and oranges.
And I totally agree with you. And when you're looking at the Dodgers too, they misuse their money a lot. They signed Blake Snell. He really hasn't even done anything this year.
Signed Trevor Bauer. That didn't work out.
Trevor Bauer, yeah, that didn't work out well. Tyler Glasnow, he has never even finished a full season before, and they gave him a ton of money. You want to pay someone like Michael Conforto $17 million, who's not producing right now. Tanner Scott's making $12.8, and yes, he's good, but he's not the Tanner Scott that we saw in San Diego. There are plenty of guys on the Dodgers roster that they are paying a lot of money to that are not performing up to their contract. And so I would much rather be in the Padres position where you are selectively choosing which contracts you pay a lot of money to, and then you just fill in on the outside, because you have to have your core and build from there. I don't think that going out and just spending money left and right on random players and free agency like it's MLB The Show is the way that you actually build a team. Dodgers may be in the playoffs, may go to the World Series, but at the same time, they are shelling out a ton of money for players that aren't playing right now. And I just don't understand how anyone can really – I don't understand how anyone can really think that A.J. Preller is doing a bad job. Number one, A.J. Preller has put a ton – or not A.J. Preller, but Peter Seidler put a ton of money into this payroll. And A.J. Preller has – let's just be honest. He has a budget that he has to follow. And I think that he is a little hamstrung there as well. So when you're saying, oh, well, we didn't go out and get a left fielder for $18 million – you know what? Sometimes you just don't have that $18 million to go get a left fielder. So you go get a veteran like Jason Hayward and hope that he can do something about it. I'm tired of the AJ slander. I think that AJ has done a lot of great things for this team. Does he have more moves in him this year? Absolutely. This is not the team that's going to finish the year.
He's made a lot of mistakes too.
He's made a lot of mistakes. You're right.
Who hasn't? I mean, on all these, nobody's had a perfect track record, and the ones that have had, bad signings that, that might seem untouchable are the ones that can buy their way out of bad situations where, the Padres can't necessarily do that with the resources that they have. It's all a different level scale for Major League Baseball team.
Yeah. All right. I have been angry all day today. I don't want to be. I don't want to be.
I'm not, man. I'm vibing.
What is with you? Why?
I'm like Gonzo in the chat, dude. Just vibing. OG's having a day, man. Anybody mind if Gonzo has a Thursday? Guy's having a Thursday. He's vibing.
Thursday.
He's having a Thursday. Anybody mind? A lot of people in the chat are having a great Thursday. Some people, you and SB are angry. I don't know why you guys are so angry.
Well,
it's beautiful weather outside. It's Memorial Day weekend. We're doing the blood drive.
I'm looking at Petco
Park
right now.
We're getting blood donations for a good cause.
Yes. And that would
chill
be
vibes, dude. Everybody's vibing here. It's a Thursday.
You know what? I gotta
it's a 3-day weekend, guys.
I gotta be
we
more
should
chill.
be vibing.
I gotta be more chill.
You and SB need to go sing Kumbaya together.
Well, no.
Go hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
You know what? The other favorite thing of the chat that I love is when they misquote us and they act like something that we said is fact when it's actually not what we said. So.
I love when they infer things. So you're saying this? No, I didn't say that at all.
No. I actually said what I said. All right, I'm getting a little too angry. Come on down to the 9th annual Padres Summer Blood Drive. We have about 45 minutes left that you can come down. Free parking is available, first come, first serve in the Lexus Premier parking lot. And to be eligible to donate blood, you must be at least 17 years old, weigh at least 110 pounds, and be in general good health. Donors are asked to arrive hydrated with photo ID and allow an hour. So things are coming to a close here, but they will accept you if you come down here in a walk-in format. And we're right here. So if you do come down, come on over and say hi. When we get back, let's talk a little bit about what the Padres are going to face tomorrow, which is the Atlanta Braves. So Braden Soprano, Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese back in studio, Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. Back here at the 9th annual Padres Summer Blood Drive. We are closing down here shortly. We've had a pretty spirited show today, so I am fired up right now, but we are in the happy hour, and the happy hour is brought to you by GL Pools, the swimming pool experts trusted by thousands of San Diegans since 2006. Baseball season is in full swing, and so is swim season. Call GL Pools and mention radio for a free month of pool service. All right, Matt Skraby, Braden Soprenet filling in for Gwynn and Chris. Tony Gwynn Jr. is on a plane from Toronto to Atlanta. Chris Ello is taking some days off. He will be back next week. And then actually there's going to be kind of a mix-up in the schedule because Braden's going to be going on vacation, and I am going to be in Braden's spot.
That's right.
So we'll argue during Braden's spot, and then Braden
keep the
can come
vibes
save
going,
me.
dude.
Oh, I'll keep the vibes going. We've been spirited today, and we have talked everything about the Padres today, and everything that's wrong with the Padres, everything that's right with the Padres. One thing I do know is that they are going to be playing tomorrow, and one thing I do know is that this team could go and put up 11 runs tomorrow, and everything will be forgotten. That's why I think this team is good. If we were, say, doing Rockies radio right now, and they just got beat 12-0, there is zero chance in my mind that the Rockies are going to be able to put up 12 runs the next day. With this team, I definitely think they can put up 12 runs. That's why I am not even close to giving up on this team.
Neither am I. I mean, it is what it is. They're off to they're in a tough little patch right now, and they got to be able to hit. They got to hit their way out of it. And I think they're talented enough to do that. Unfortunately, some of the stars not doing their part. Some are, and then when some were, the others weren't, and vice versa. But there's nothing drastic you could do about this team in terms of changes right now. You can wait till the deadline, but this is the team. This is your team. And this is what the Padres are. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you about that particular sense.
We've said it all.
People want my lineup. So, in my ideal world lineup, again, that doesn't really matter what I say. I mean, Mike Schultz going to keep rolling out what he believes in.
Well, he did just sign in on the YouTube chat, so I'm just kidding. Mike Schultz did not sign in on the YouTube chat. Anyway, go ahead. Give me your lineup.
I got if I wanted to make a couple changes, I'd go with Fernando. I'd still keep Fernando at leadoff. I think he's a leadoff hitter when he's right. He's currently he's dealing with something right now, it looks like, and he's mentioned he's sad, and I don't know why he's sad or what's going on to be that kind of a deal. It looks like he is a little bit down, but until he figures that out, it'll be a little bit different. But talking full strength, everything like that, I got Fernando batting leadoff. I'd like to see Jackson bat 2. And I'd go with the Rise either 3 or 4. I'd probably go Manny 3 just because if the top 3 go out, then you got a Rise that everybody thinks can be a leadoff hitter leading off the second inning if you go 1, 2, 3. So Fernando 1, Merrill 2, Manny 3, a Rise 4. 5 would be Gavin Sheets. I'd go probably Jake Cronenworth 6. I'd go with Xander Bogaerts 7. I'd go with your catcher at 8, whether it be Maldonado or Diaz. And then your left fielder would bat 9. I like Lockridge in the 9 spot. I think he needs to get more opportunities out there, especially since Jason Hayward's not really doing anything for you. And I'd rather see him out there than anything else. But if you want to spot start Tyler Wade, then I'd go Tyler Wade there. But if you look at that particular lineup, I mean, that's what a lot of teams are doing now. It's not, you don't have the traditional guys in certain spots. I mean, Arise isn't a leadoff hitter. That guy is more dangerous when there's runners on base than there are with guys not on base, especially from a pitching perspective. Does he hit the ball over the fence? No, but you don't need to have, it doesn't need to be like bases clearing home runs. The Padres do not have a home run hitting team.
Exactly.
They're not built on hitting the home run. So why make your lineup in a sense that would be catered to your 3, 4, and 5 being these home run boppers? That's not what they are. You got one. It's Gavin Sheets. Everybody else is a line drive hitter, and you want to continue those innings. There's multiple ways to score runs in baseball. I prefer the offense that continues to hit for a high average and gets base hits and continues to put pressure on. That's the offense that everybody was ranting and raving about at the beginning of the season. It's the same offense, but guess what, guys? If they don't hit the ball, period, they're never going to get runs scored, even if they are a power hitting team. If you look at from a power hitting perspective, what your results would have been, It's a lot more strikeouts, and you're living and dying on the long ball. Teams that live and die on the long ball don't win. They're not as successful. I think you've seen that with the Phillies over the last couple of years. Got to have teams that grind out wins. I mean, that is what a lineup that the Dodgers have continuously put out each and every year. Guys that continue to grind out at bats and work counts and put the ball in play, and good things happen, and their line drive hitters put the ball over the fence. So if you want to keep comparing everything to the Los Angeles Dodgers, I mean, that's theoretically what they do. So even though it scares people that Luis Arraez, he hits singles, what is he doing in the 3 spot or the 4 spot? If he's up with multiple guys on, he gets a base hit. What is it?
He drives him in.
It's a run. He did that today with 2 outs and a runner on third base. You got a power guy. It's live or die by the home run. You got a base hit guy. He's got to put the ball in play, and good things tend to happen. You need Luis Arraez up with runners on base. You don't need him up to lead off an inning.
I agree with that. I got something on the chat. Just admit that the Padres are bad. I've already admitted that they're bad right now. They're bad right now. Last night was terrible. And how much do you think that our anger right now is because of last night's results? Because 14-0 is not something that anyone really wants to see at all. And I do get a little bit frustrated with people who are, this team doesn't have a catcher that can hit. We knew that. We knew that was the case coming into the year. This team doesn't hit home runs. We knew that this team was going to be more of a line drive hitting team. That's their philosophy. And they've kind of, look what happens when they start trying to hit home runs. They go away from their philosophy and they can't score. And they can't drive in guys with runners in scoring position. So all they need to do is get back to the formula that they had in the beginning of the year when they were winning a ton of games, and they're going to be fine. The injuries, knock on wood, have not really been a problem. You got Yu Darvish coming back. You got Matt Waldron maybe coming back soon. Some of these guys are going to be back on this roster, and we're going to start seeing the team that we saw a little bit last year who made that run in the playoffs. I mean, I really don't know what else we could say, Braden. I think we've exhausted everything. And I do want to say that I appreciate everybody who listens to the show, watches the show, tries to be a part of the show. But when you are so hard-headed and you cannot take any sort of criticism or any sort of suggestion, I can't help you. So you can be unhappy if you want to be unhappy. You know what?
You got to let the guy talk to himself in the chat, dude.
Yeah.
You got to let him talk to himself.
We can just go into the ether, and you can talk to yourself, and it'll be fun. Hey, don't you think the Padres are bad? Yeah, I think the Padres are bad. Oh, let's be best friends. All right. That is it. We're done with the Padre conversation for right now. We've done everything. I cannot do it anymore. I cannot be angry anymore. But when we get back, there are some other things that we need to talk about in the sports world, like some of the rules that are being changed in the NFL, some college football news, and we'll get to that when we get back. Braden Soprenet, Matt Skraby, filling in for Gwynn and Chris on 97.3 The Fan. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has come down to the 9th annual Padres Summer Blood Drive. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who's been interacting with us all day. It wasn't an easy day for Padres fans, but we got through it. And I want to give a special thanks to Frank Marchese back in studio, because Braden and I both know how difficult it is to do a show from the studio while everybody else is out and about, because it's like herding cats. At least for me, it's like herding cats. You got Chris over there. You got Tony surrounded by like 14 people. I'm like, guys, we have a show to do. So thank you very much, Frank, for being the guy that you are. All right, let's do this. We're going to get into some other stories. And I want to start with this, since we've had some naughty chat fans today on YouTube. I'm not going to say that got Braden.
Naughty chat fan.
I'm not going to say anybody went this far that I saw.
It's entertaining.
It is entertaining. I'm
Keeps
fine with
me
it.
going, dude. It's what brings me to work every day. I don't know why you're so upset. I think this is great conversations.
I'm not upset. It's
funny to interact with.
I just get angry.
The more they chat, the better it is for the YouTube video. It's awesome.
I am someone who is I live at high octane all the time. All the time.
I'm just vibing. Beautiful weather.
I'm just
you guys are
vibe
freaking
too,
out thinking
man.
it's cold, dude. It's nice.
It is cold,
It's
though.
not cold.
It is cold. Everybody knows that Petco Park gets a little bit cold once the sun goes down. All right, let's talk about this story real quick, and then we'll go into some NFL stuff. But since I've been hating everything today, Liam Hendricks has had to come out and talk about the disgusting things that have been said to his family after he had a bad outing the other day for the Red Sox. Here's what he said on his Instagram story. Just as an FYI, threats against my wife and my life and my wife's life are horrible and cruel. You need help. Leaving comments to tell me to commit suicide and how you wish I died of cancer is disgusting and vile. Maybe you should take a step back and reevaluate your life's purpose before hiding behind a screen attacking players and their families. Whether you do it from your fake accounts or are dumb enough to do it from your real account, I think I speak for all players who have had to deal with this in their career when I say enough is enough. Yeah, if you're talking, so Liam Hendricks ended up going through cancer, beating cancer, making his way back to Major League Baseball, and apparently now he's getting DMs saying that they wish he died of cancer when he had cancer.
That is insane behavior, insane human behavior. There's more to life than just sometimes your sports teams, to a point where, I mean, I don't know why you'd want anybody dead. It's just insane behavior. And you know, first of all, you should never DM athletes for any particular reason, and you should never say things like that ever. I mean, I don't know what compels some people to write a message of hate to a stranger that they've never met before. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I get those sometimes, and I look at it and I just go, you spent time out of your life to send this for what?
It doesn't even make them feel better.
It doesn't make any sense. I pray for you, brother, because like you're obviously in a bad situation and in a bad headspace and not happy with your own personal life where you have to go to that level. I mean, and I hope that you get the help that you need to be able to overcome some of those thoughts and those feelings towards another human being
that you don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of hate in this world as it is. I don't know why you would put yourself to that, and it's not doing anything to help your ball club or help you out. I mean, it's just, people are suffering out there, and we're all going through a lot, and everybody has to fight their own battles and everything like that. But it's better to keep it positive and focus on the good things in life sometimes, and that is not one of them. Do not ever do that. Please don't ever do that. It's not going to end well for anybody in those situations.
No, well, really well said, Braden. I actually, with my therapist, when I first started radio, the negative things were not easy for me to handle because I just didn't really understand what being on the radio what was like. But so I kept a folder full of all of the mean things that I could look at and kind of get motivated by. And then one day I said, you know what, I'm over these, and I just deleted them because
as you should. Anybody would never take advice from, don't ever take criticism from.
That's a good point. And then we go back to Jaron Duran a couple weeks ago, Red Sox, where he had a fan kicked out of the stadium because the fan said, because Jaron Duran came out and said he attempted suicide, but the gun did not go off when he pulled the trigger. And a fan yells at him, "I wish the gun went off." Like, huh? Like, and this is a guy saying it face to face to someone else. Like, I do not understand these people whatsoever. Lance McCullers is the last one. Someone DM Lance McCullers and said that they wanted to murder his children because he wasn't doing well on the
Those
field.
people are just nuts, dude. They're just crazy people, and that's another major problem with social media is it gives people this like sense of I can go say things without any repercussions. It's like the same thing of putting any type of chats together and not having your name or your picture attached to it.
Yeah.
If you want to really be big and bad and like say what you got to say and say
Put
what
your
you
name on it.
Put your name on it. Like
we put our names on it.
Put your name and your face on it. I mean, but if you're afraid about losing your job, maybe you should be worried about what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a good point. In another life, I'm going to be a guy who tracks down people and tells their jobs about all of the things that they do. But that's Liam Neeson in a movie that I'm not ready to make yet.
Don't send mean DMs. Don't threaten to kill their fans. It's just insane. I didn't even want to talk about it. It's so insane.
Yeah, let's move on. Frank, let's get our last traffic of the day. Oh, wow. I didn't know it was this one. I like this one, though. Okay. I was going to sing it on the radio, but I shouldn't sing instrumentals on the radio. NFL came up. They have finally set what the new rules are for the 2025 season, and one of the major ones was the tush push. Was it going to be banned? Was it not going to be banned? Is it a football play? Is it not a football play? Braden, what was your overall take on the tush push?
I think it's a very dangerous play, and if we're worried about player safety, then it should be banned for a lot of different reasons. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I mean, eventually you got to figure out how to stop it. It's very difficult, though, just in terms of leverage. From a defensive perspective, and the Eagles do it extremely well. Not everybody can do it this well, but they're with their linemen in a 4-point stance and the low level that they have with leverage. It's hard to get underneath that without getting absolutely just crushed and piled on. And you're asking D linemen to just, you saw it with the Chiefs defensive line dealing with neck problems during the Super Bowl because they're getting their necks tweaked down there. So. There's a lot of safety hazards with this. It's not like a rugby scrum. It's a little bit different. And I didn't mind the ban. Again, the ban was not just the brotherly shove. The ban was also on aiding a running back either by pushing or pulling said running back, correct. Which was a rule before the whole push thing. So I was not opposed to them potentially changing that rule, but I'm not going to lose sleep over them not changing it.
Well, it came to vote today or yesterday, and it needed 24 votes from NFL teams to be banned. They did not get there. The tush push is still a part of the game. It was actually a closer vote than I thought. NFL team owners voted 22 and 10 in favor of banning the play. So
they
the Eagles are going to be
votes.
Yeah, they were 2 votes short. And my thing on the tush push is I just hate it because the Eagles are really, really good at it.
Oh, come on.
I just hate it because the Eagles are good at it. Now, here's something that I really appreciate because I was talking to Gwynn and Chris about this a couple weeks ago. I thought the whole thing with the onside kick now is like you can't really do an onside kick unless you tell someone
It's
that
a
you're
waste.
doing an
Such a
onside
bad
kick.
rule.
Well, now you can
Stupid.
do. The NFL owners have passed a rule change that would allow teams to declare onside kicks at any point during a game if they are trailing.
Still dumb.
They will be kicked off from the 34 instead of the 35.
Still have to go 10 yards, though?
Yeah, it still has to go 10 yards.
Dumb, dude.
I don't know why they're doing
all
30.
the kickoff rules are dumb. And here's the thing: like, you're not going to ban the brotherly shove, right? Even though that's not safe. You're not going to ban sending teams to Brazil, which is insane.
Yeah.
Also, player safety. But we're going to ban the kickoffs.
Yes.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
The kickoff they have right now is dumb.
I know.
It's a stupid kickoff. I
It's
hate the onside. There's no reason to ever do an onside kick because you'll never get it. And having to declare before is dumb. I don't know what the NFL is doing. I prefer the high school rules. We don't have to worry about that at the high school level. So.
Well, another thing that was passed today, NFL players can compete in the Olympics. 32 clubs will allow one of their players to play on each country's team. So,
Is that including the international roster spot or not? Because all these teams have international roster spots where they can have extra players if they're from different countries. They have at least one of those spots.
Interesting.
We talked about it with Frank yesterday. I'm curious because, like, if you're going to let the guy from Germany on the roster, does that count as your guy?
It says the 32 clubs will allow one of their players to play on each country's team. The NFL's international pathway players will also be allowed to participate without restriction.
There you go. So you get one American player per NFL team to play in the Olympics. Could you imagine? Justin Jefferson really wants to do it. I want to see Justin Jefferson line up against some teacher from the Czech Republic in a flag football game. See ya. I mean, think about how big is the roster going to be? Like 20 guys? You get the best 20 players in the United States, one from each NFL team. You still have 12 left over. There's nobody touching the United States. You could have JJ and Tyreek Hill on the same flag football team in the Olympics.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
Get Lamar Jackson out there. Any type of blitz, dude. He's going to be all over the place.
Now, the Lions...
And he can sling it.
Yes, he can. The Lions, they had a playoff reseeding proposal that they put on the table where it would reseed everything, where it would go by record instead of by division, all that other stuff. Well, they have tabled it at the last minute, and the team reportedly did not have enough support for the proposal and opted to remove it from consideration, which I do love.
What did he say?
It's it's like if you win division, the first four.
Oh.
So the Lions wanted to make it so that the seedings were by record instead of by the first four division winners and then the wild card.
So they're doing the traditional playoffs.
Yes, but that has been tabled because there was not enough support behind it.
If you decide to seed the NFL playoffs straight, why have divisions?
That's what we were saying yesterday.
Why have them? You might as well
just turn it into the NBA.
Just make it the NBA, and you're in a conference, and that's what you do. Like they said the same thing about, and they might want the same thing in baseball. I mean, why have divisions? What's the point?
There is no point.
I mean, if you win your division, you're in the playoffs. If your division happens to be down that year, that's not your fault. You still have to make it through the best teams to win a Super Bowl. I don't know what the unfairness is. It's like, we got to play on the road. Who cares?
And
if you didn't want to play on the road, you should have played better, won your freaking division.
Thank you. And I also don't get why the Lions, they mentioned the Vikings as being a team that was kind of stuck out in the cold. It's like, why do you care? They're in your division.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't get it. It's just complaining. I mean, people just like to go.
It's not going to
It's
happen.
not fair. We have to go play on the road. We're better than this team. You didn't win your division. Sucks.
Yeah, there's something called a reward for winning the division.
Yeah, win your division. We don't have to worry about this.
I didn't know this was new, but the NFL is changing its overtime rules, but they're kind of familiar. In 2025, both teams will receive a possession in overtime during regular season games. Basically, the overtime format the NFL used in the postseason in 2024. So, this is not really anything new except for both teams get a chance to possess it in the regular season. And the NFL also
they took the playoff overtime and applied it to the regular season.
Basically.
So, if the team that gets the ball to start overtime drives down and scores a touchdown, the game is not over.
The game is not over. Correct. Because that is how it was last year.
Are they adding more time to overtime, or is it still going to be 10 minutes?
Doesn't say anything about time.
Because I find that to be very interesting. I mean, because already right now, just with teams that don't score,
we're going to get a lot of ties.
You might get a lot more ties. Americans hate ties.
I hate football ties for sure.
I hate ties.
The NFL expands use of replay assist. Replay reviews can now be used to look at even more plays under the new policy. Hits on a defenseless player, grabbing the face mask, performing a horse collar tackle, tripping and running into or roughing the kicker can now be reviewed. I am a fan of this because there are so many phantom penalties on roughing the passer that end up helping a team win games. And so I'm happy that they're going to be able to look at. Thank you. I'm going to say a little bit louder. Chiefs get this all the time. All the time the Chiefs have this. And then
certain quarterbacks get it.
They just make up rules.
Callan, thanks for donating blood.
Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate you.
And they just kind of make up rules. In order for those penalties to be reviewed, officials need to first throw a flag on the play. A coach may challenge the play if they believe that penalty was unwarranted. So it could kind of get a little confusing.
So you cannot challenge if it wasn't thrown. But
Correct.
If it was thrown, you could say, that's BS. Here's my flag.
Coaches cannot use a challenge to try and coax a penalty from an official. If a flag was not thrown on a particular play or if an official missed a penalty, a coach cannot challenge to try and change that. The Hawkeye cameras are now going to measure first downs, which just doesn't make any sense to me. They're still using the chain gang, but anyway, we'll move on.
Wait.
So what's going to happen is the Sony Hawkeye camera is going to be used to measure the first downs. They're going to effectively replace the on-field chain gang measurement. The league expects the change will save roughly 40 seconds compared to manual chain gang measurements.
So it just goes to the computer, but you have to have the chains out there, otherwise the players will have no idea where the first down is.
Yeah, they anyone concerned the change will eliminate the chain gang completely can rest easy. They said the chain gang is going to be in a secondary capacity. So we are still going to have those 80-year-old men on the sideline.
Well, if the system doesn't work, you still need to run out there at the chains. Plus, the players need to be able to see the sticks. So,
true. Touchbacks will move to the 35-yard line. I don't know what they're doing with the kickoff.
Oh, wait a minute. They're going to the 35-yard line
The
now?
league is going to move the touchbacks to the 35-yard line. This is a change from the 30-yard line. The change is aimed at increasing the amount of return kickoffs around the league. Teams returned kickoffs at roughly 33% last year. Under the new policy, they expect it to jump between 60 and 70%.
We wanted less kickoffs because it's scary. Wait, it's not as exciting anymore. We want more kickoffs. No, we don't want you to put in the end zone.
The NFL does what the NFL wants.
Stupid.
The
NFL should go back to the original kickoff rule. Kick for the 30 and put it in the end zone. It's at the 20 and let's just play football.
You know what?
So dumb.
I didn't get on the field unless I was forming a wedge on a kickoff return. That's how guys make teams.
I'm so done. I'm so done with the special teams rules. The kickoff rules are asinine. We want it to be safe, but we also want it to be entertaining. What's entertaining? Bloodshed. Let's make it scary.
Bloodshed.
Jeez.
Let's go to college football because I know you love college football, but CFP,
time for this.
We got enough.
I got 4 hours I could do on this.
College football
Maybe tomorrow's
playoff administrators approved a proposal for a straight seeding model for 2025 postseason. This represents a major change because the automatic first-round buys for the 4 highest-rated conference champions and welcome to a less complex power ranking of the selection committee's top 12 teams, which is very confusing to me. But here's what they said in a quote. After evaluating the first year of the 12-team playoff, the CFP committee felt it was the best interest of the game to make this adjustment. This change will continue to allow guaranteed access to the playoff by rewarding teams for winning their conference championship, but it will also allow us to construct a postseason bracket that recognizes the best performance on the field during the entire regular season.
AKA, let me fill out the bracket in a way that I can make certain teams play each other for entertainment reasons.
There you go.
BS.
There you go.
I understand the logic, but here's the problem. They're going to go and they're like, oh, let's make sure all the SEC schools have buys. We'll just say they're better than everybody else. They'll play 1 through 4. Oh, we got Boise State out of the Mountain West. And, for some reason, Arizona won the Big 12. Let's make sure the West Coast schools play each other first round to eliminate each other, but to make sure we have as much SEC path or Big 10 path to the championship as possible. That is what that translates to.
You're 100% right. And college football
is run by ESPN and Fox.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
We all know it. I'm just saying it.
All right. That's it for all of our news today. I'm going to go through the chat real quick and see if there's anything that we can answer.
Johnny wants to talk about donuts again. I've done the donut thing.
What's the donut thing?
I've had talks about donuts. We've discussed donuts. And bad news for Frank. Hamby here also agrees. Dunkin' Donuts is not great. Dunkin' Donuts
is not good?
No, thumbs
he
down.
gave us the thumbs down. Man.
Would you rather go to Tim Hortons? Tim Hortons.
Tim
Wow.
Hortons is in Canada.
We got a Canadian in the house.
What about Krispy Kreme?
I don't mind it. It's got to be warm, though.
I will tell you the one place.
Pink box.
I will tell you the one place I will go for donuts, and that's VG's in Encinitas. It is the best place ever.
Roses.
What?
Roses Donuts.
Roses
Linda
Donuts.
Vista. Mary's out in East County.
All right.
I think there's a good spot in every part of town. It's like a Mexican food place. It's like a taco shop.
All right. Well, that's it, Braden. Thank you for filling in for Gwynn and Chris. I'm Matt Skraby. That's Braden Soprenin. Thank you so much to Claudine Van Gonka for coming down and talking to us about the San Diego Blood Bank. And thank you to Frank Marchese back in studio holding it down. Good job, Frank. Tomorrow, back to a normal schedule. AJ Preller with the morning show. And Gavin Sheets will be on with Tony and I.
Nick Allen with Braden Soprenin Show.
Nick Allen with the Braden Soprenin Show. And I talked
coming up on a Friday.